BX has got the facts for you. BX the storyteller, bringing the spark, no one does it better. BX, you've heard the rest, but she's the yeah. Oh, oh yeah. Breaking the news with a twist so true.
Hi, Dynasty. How are you? Would you like to join the panel? Thank you for the likes. Did you sleep? Huh? My room is private, so you can't share it out. Hopefully somebody will see and come in. But I promise to keep my safe spaces. I don't allow no. It's an echo chamber, so do with that what you will. It's really an echo chamber. But my prompt is destroying the narrative of Tetherville. Black American and Chief always get on New York about being the land of the tethers. So what I do is, oh, you just woke up? Okay. During Black History Month and, continuously, I look for influential people in the early times of New York. So right now, what I have is this big pet peeve about people thinking they migrated here. And sorry, this includes some of my Southerners. As if New Yorkers had to wait for music. But here, before even the South migrated up, we had a history of a church, music, stuff like that. So what I looked for this prompt were genres specifically created in New York. And here they go. What is this? Tin Pan Alley. I know I remember that. Broadway musical theater, right? Parlor music. And they say that New York, in the 1700s, New York was a hub for these type of performances. The syncopated vaudeville type of piano playing, that was here in New York. And then we had genres that we popularized. So I'm just trying to show it anywhere in the nation that we are. Plus, we are a musical people. So it's like kind of ludicrous to think if we're documented as being in New York since the 1600s, that we had to wait to the 1900s for some type of culture, music, anything. So I always say that if you put a Black person in a room with nothing but a chair and a pencil, we gonna make a beat. That's just us. That's the nature of us. So I've been trying to just kind of spotlight and highlight the fact that New York was never built by immigrants. Not only were there indigenous here, but there were captives who came here with the Dutch. So it's not like no big astronomical number or nothing. But they were called Afro-Dutch, and Sojourner Truth is technically an Afro-Dutch. And she spent a year here at a historical settlement called Weeksville. And Weeksville kind of like faded to the background, and the Historical Society preserved it over there in Brooklyn. So we do have a lot of history here in New York, and I think the more that I tell and other people tell the history of New York, they'll see that it was foundational Black Americans. And I stand on the amalgamation of foundational Black Americans, not just either or, like we're amalgamated. And so that made our culture, and that's what built New York, right? So the tribes here, we do know Shinnecock. Flavor Flav is a Shinnecock. I think ODB is a Shinnecock. But not so many people talk about Ramapo. or they call them Lenape. Right, thank you. So Lenape, I'm gonna say Ramapo. Ramapo was on the border of New York and New Jersey. And so I spoke to my family historian, even though I'm a historian, but he's like really, really good at it. He says that we do have ties to the Ramapo, right? And so I looked it up because I ain't going to just go claim anybody. And they do acknowledge their multicultural roots. So they have state recognition and they're pushing for federal. Now, I ain't going to go over there to no powwows or nothing. Whatever they do over there is their culture. But I can still honor my ancestors. As a matter of fact, I do have a picture of my second great grandmother from New Jersey who has, she really has that. She doesn't have that like copper, like she's like lighter skin, but she looks so gorgeous, y'all. But my cousin's like, don't show nobody her pictures. But I do have her pictures. And on here, I wouldn't do it anyway, because people be stealing people pictures. They really weird over here on TikTok. So that's my family from New Jersey, and they do have the B2 haplogroups, though, the women. And my eldest cousin just transitioned, and she was like maybe 100 or 101. So I can honor my ancestors without appropriating anybody's history because I'm not in the fight with them for federal recognition. But as long as they say they have multicultural roots, I'm happy with it. So the man on the prompt is Fats Waller, and he's Black American, and he was born Thomas Wright in Manhattan, New York. And he was a central figure in the Harlem Renaissance and a pioneer of the Harlem Stride piano style, which I never heard of before. I never heard of that before until I was looking to do this segment. His parents are from Virginia, so you still got that South there. And they migrated to New York in 1888. And they say he was a cultural icon. He was a hometown musical genius, and yes, Harlem is his hometown. He was born here, right? He just has some Southern roots. And what did he do? And his funeral at the Abyssinian Baptist Church drew over 4,000 mourners. Okay. So he had some hits on Broadway and stuff like that. So yep, what is it called again? The Stride. Let me see. Was it the Harlem Stride? I just had it, y'all, and played the piano organ. So okay, so his father was a Baptist preacher, and his mother played the piano too. So he got his musical gifts. It had to be the church involved, right? I'll just have it. Oh, there we go. Harlem Stride. Harlem Stride. So that's not his music playing, y'all. That's TikTok music. But that's it. I didn't really have no topic. When I have my open panels, it's for the lineage to come up and vent, right? I am kind of strict with the cursing. Sorry, y'all, because I know I be going off sometimes on other people's panels. But that's why I don't have nobody on mine. And I think spaces like this are needed because there are times that we just need to talk just the family. I don't mean, going back and forth at each other. Even like, we just had like a mini debate with Midnight co-creator of Soulaan and Brother Theory. Hey, Violin Mommy. And they were talking about retiring the term African American and how we should identify. I feel like I'm trying to scream over this music. Midnight, co-creator of Soulaan, stands on indigeneity. He feels that we shouldn't use Negro or the N-word, use that as a term of endearment or something else. I think he said African American, of course, and Black because he's going by the technical definition that it all leads to racial groups in Africa. So him and Simon had that discussion. It was pretty intense, but it was two battles of great minds, and it's still all love. So they had their debate. We got to, ask some questions of them and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool. So you never know what happens when you step into the echo chamber, right? You may get to debate one of your own. So that's it. If anybody want to come up. But even after February, I do what is called National Black History 365 because our history doesn't fit in just a month. We are so great. But to combat erasure, especially the quadruple erasure we're facing here in New York, I try to spotlight people in New York, like early influential people. If you scroll through my posts, you'll see I have one of Elizabeth Jennings. I gotta turn this down some more, y'all. Now, Elizabeth Jennings was a school teacher, right? And in the 1800s, she won a major case, hey Chris, against the Third Avenue Railway because they forcefully removed her from, was it a horse and it would have to be a buggy, but anyway, they forcibly removed her from transit, whatever transit she was taking. Oh God, right? And somebody told me I should be a professor. I gotta improve my memory first or have some really good notes, right? And Frederick Douglass helped to popularize her case, which she won. So that's considered a landmark case. So they're calling her not the first Rosa Parks, but they attached Rosa Parks to her and stuff because she was taken off the train that way. So I don't know, what's the current events? So y'all go ahead and look into, if you into music, I wish Malik was here. If y'all are into music, look into Fat Swaller. He created the genre Harlem Stride, so that's pretty good. Um, Anything else? I'm gonna put the Bad Bunnies to rest, but I think that's to rest because Jesse Jackson has transitioned. I just want to be real about it. A lot of people feel that the term African American has transitioned with Jesse Jackson. I just want to remind y'all, it's still a process. We got to get it off the forums and out of use, and I'm not going to let anybody else have it. I don't think Yvette Clarke, who I'm uploading a deep dive about over on YouTube, by the end of the day, I'd say I got one more. Like I did 6 parts and I'm meshing them all together. I'm putting some effects and some visuals. I'm not good with graphics, y'all, so don't laugh at me, okay? She tried. And that's what counts. But I like it. I'm using iMovie, I think it's called, for my MacBook. And it's pretty easy. It's better than Canva if you ask me. Yep. So we put Bad Bunny to rest. African American, that term has to be put to rest. There's a process for it. And I'm not in the habit of letting somebody else use it simply because my grandmother, who transitioned in 2011, she's listed as an African American. That term won't be on any census until I think the 2000 is released. And if you do genealogy, they only release up to the 1950 census. So we have ancestors and elders who will be identified by that term, unless the family member who was giving the information said something different. Now, I see who put that on or who gave the information for my grandmother, and that's one of her children, right? I'm just a grandbaby. But in the meantime, I could fight for to have it removed so that nobody else can use it, because I don't understand how Roland Martin, Joy Reid, and who else is there? Yvette Clarke, of all people, is listed as an African American. So Yvette Clarke will say things like, "Oh, I'm a Black American with Jamaican heritage," or "I'm a Jamaican African American with Jamaican heritage," and it's like we demand our own ethnic autonomy. The same way we allow everybody else, and everybody else's ethnogenesis is recognized, right? So that's why somebody from what was saying Trinidad can say they Trinidadian. Of course, Jamaica could say they Jamaican, so on and so forth. Even the Latinos, they Puerto Rican, they Dominican, all this other stuff. And nobody talks about a boat stop until we enter the chat. Like, can we be real? We know y'all came off boats, goddamn it. That's the only time they mention a boat stop. Any other time they are their nationality, which would be one of those islands. So I would just want to say thank you to everybody entering the room. I don't have no set schedule, but this is a safe space. I'm going to get on my laptop because you can't share my live. and see if the Black American House is up, Dred and everybody, if they want to come up and talk with me. Dynasty just woke up, so he got to go slay the dragon. Which I say, the morning breath, the dragon. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have any more current events besides Jesse Jackson. We know about the lady. I wonder if we're gonna be able to get that lady deported. I guess we have to see. That kind of fizzled out with the news of Jesse Jackson, correct? So we'll be back on that soon. Oh, Mardi Gras is happening, and the Zulu parade took place. I didn't hear any news from the South Africans. Didn't they say we weren't to do it or something? I guess they figured they better leave us alone after that young lady transition. Wait. I'm over here trying to log into TikTok and they playing this early in the morning. Good morning, Jeff. Your name looks familiar. Did y'all do y'all daily heart meets? What do you mean about us becoming a monolith country? Are you talking about the way we identify our ethnic groups? I think that no matter what, it's 50 million. What do you think of the idea? Oh, I gotta tell you, I don't like some of the names that the people pick. I gotta tell you right now, right? I think for the most part, we are always gonna have somebody who tries to identify as us. So no matter with the American Indians choose, if they choose an original American, somebody's going to try to appropriate that. You're going to have the Mexicans, the Native Americans, right? Because for a long time, the natives didn't want to be indigenous, right? Or American Indian, if not mistaken. They wanted to be Native Americans and First Nations people, I think it was. At least that's the last thing I saw. Now, all of a sudden, our copper colored lineage comes out and they're standing on their business, right? And here come the natives again. Oh, I'm indigenous. Yeah, I ain't indigenous. Somebody told me you too dark to be indigenous. I said, oh, get the hell out of here. And he was a whole Dominican, y'all. I was like, if y'all don't leave me alone, because I ain't never said I was indigenous. I said I have indigenous ancestors, but I have European ancestors too, you know. And I actually found the Europeans are pretty easy to find. You'll hear a lot of them. If you're in certain groups, they'll be like, I found my 25th great grandmother. And I'm like, dang. Okay, this laptop. Let me see. Good morning to those passing through the room. Have a blessed day. If y'all want to go get a cup of coffee or something, I'm going to sit here for a little while longer and just see if anybody comes in the room. It is kind of early, and some people do go to bed late. You see video of white tea lady talking about Foundation American Party. Oh, is she saying that she's a foundational white tea American? Somebody sent me the video and I was like, not today. I don't want to watch it today, but I'll go back and watch it. We can never have nothing for ourselves. Why do we have to give people such ideas, right? Like we say we foundational, now here they come. Why she couldn't stick with heritage? Why she went to foundational? I thought Tucker Carlson and them were saying they were heritage Americans. She could be heritage American, but she can't be foundational to anywhere but them caves, okay? Sometimes my jokes write themselves. Hi Ray, good morning. I don't really know what the lady said, but at this point in time, I don't believe that they're foundational to anything but Europe, right? But some of them have been here for so long, it's asinine to think we're going to get them out of the paint, right? And it's asinine to think that we're going to get all the Native Americans out of the paint. Now, all them other people, and when I say get them out of the paint, or it's asinine to think we're going to get them, the Irish and Italian could go. All them people that's not the early settlers or their descendants can go. Why? Because the early settlers, their descendants are relatively small in number, if not mistaken. Mayflower descendants, who are they? I think, not Sally Struthers. Who's the other one? I think she used to play Gidget. I'm kind of old, y'all. Sally, it was Sally. Why is Sally Struthers on my mind? It wasn't her. Anyway, she's a white tea lady, right? That used to play in all these shows, and I think Gidget was one. She's not a blonde or anything. She's like a brunette. Sorry, I grew up at a time where there was like no flavor on the TV, and then we started getting like the Cosby Show and stuff. Good Times was there, different shows. But then, when I was younger, I watched a lot of white tea stuff, y'all. You could come up there, Yoda, if you want. Whose room you was in? I seen you was in somebody's room. I said I ain't going in there. I'm not getting mad early in the morning because y'all just be going in everybody's room, willing to debate and stuff. I just don't like it. If I'm in my space and they come in there or some space that I consider a safe space, then no doubt, I got the right to, debate and take the juggler out. But I be following behind the lineage, and especially the men. Y'all just be all over the place. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm over here. I gotta send out manual messages, and every time I think to make my page public, somebody show me why I shouldn't. I probably would not have no peace. There's 5 people on the counter. One of y'all could come up and sit with me. So, you know what I wanted to talk about? I sent a video out, and I had to choose between Vegas and Mardi Gras. What did you choose? So the mayor of New York, he gives me that Brandon Johnson feel like he just gonna be doing too much for the other team and not us. Now this man done went around, and people in New York, I swear I don't like these New Yorkers. They ain't too bright. Talk about some free grocery store. What he talking about is a food pantry. Now we've always had those in the city. Some are better than the others. Some give really good stuff, right? And there's always a long line around most, unless you come and line up early or come real late. But then if you come real late, you ain't gonna get the good stuff, right? So it's a glorified food pantry, and everybody thinking, oh, look, a free supermarket. And ain't none of our people out there, y'all gotta tell you that. Right? It's a couple of melanated faces. But if they us, they the ones that's working in the place. So I just think that it's a food pantry. He told all these immigrants they're gonna get a free grocery store. They can come get free groceries. It's a food pantry. He probably got contracts that's been in existence for years. I got to figure out how that works. Oh, no problem, Rufus. So I want to know what they're gonna name the farmers market next. I said y'all are so gullible. You know, I had to write it on the comment section. Y'all are gullible. It's a food pantry. We've had those all the time. He ain't doing nothing. He ain't making good or no promises. He just renaming shit. Now I want to know what he's going to rename the farmers market, because we have those too. Where the farmers come and they set up stands in certain neighborhoods, and you could either use, you could use food stamps, y'all, and then they upgraded to EBT. So, I wish I got some EBT. Yeah. I ain't getting a whole bunch of money, y'all. I ain't even getting $100 from my taxes. I'm just glad I don't owe this year. But yeah. So if you're in the New York City area, you already know what it's hitting on. Go right down there to 104th Street around the farmers market time and get y'all some good produce. Hopefully this year he got better contracts and they'll have fresher stuff. Maybe some watermelons with seeds, some grapes with seeds. Now if he do all that, I'll be happy too. But I get a feeling, on a more serious note, I do get a feeling like he would be maybe the next Brandon Johnson. He wants to give he wants to allow the immigrants, the legal immigrants' children to come and get into daycare. Like, what is that? Good morning, Brother Theory. How are you?
What's up, sister? Sister
Hey,
BX, how are you? How are you?
I'm okay.
I
You
just got
know,
I just got your message about the Google Drive. I get it over to you. I get it to you.
okay, why you sound like you in a rush? What you doing? You don't want to hear my prompt for today?
No. I'm. You can hear me? I was looking for my
Yeah.
headphones. That's what I was looking
Oh,
for. Yeah, I
okay.
just found them.
Oh, good, okay. So, you know, my pet peeve is everybody thinking that they migrated here for New Yorkers to get some culture, right? And I'm sorry, that includes my Southerners, because New York was here. You know, Black Americans were here since the 1600s.
My sister
And
BX is not gonna play about this New York. Yo, she not playing about. Listen, the Dutch settlement. It was Black Americans up there already. She not taking no shorts on y'all trying to make it seem like New York was some mystery culture that never existed. Nah, she not having none of that shit. So shout outs to you. Nah, stand on that shit, cause you do teach me some stuff too about the city. I haven't dived all the way into it, but you do give me another aspect. So go ahead, tell me about your pet peeves, sis. Tell me more
uh,
about it.
okay, so I found out, and shout out Sister Revolutionary, she's always in the comments. What I found out is that we had cakewalk and ballroom, right?
Hmm.
But I was trying to get like to the 1800s and stuff, but I got to the, what was it, the 1900s, and it's called the Harlem Stride.
So
It's a
I
piano
want you to
type.
look up. It's a show also. But if you look up the Gilded era,
Uh-huh.
it's a term called the Gilded era. And
Hmm.
I haven't looked into much of it myself, but the Gilded era of the United States is sort of related to the fantasy version of that TV show Bridgerton, except that the Gilded era actually happened in the United States, where you had um, where you have free Negroes and newly emancipated Negroes, um, when they almost first started intermingling post emancipation,
Mm-hmm.
during like the Harlem Renaissance and the Reconstruction era. So if you kind of search I'm gonna do a dive into that era myself, and maybe we'll be able to pull out more information because they actually made it a TV show. It's called the
Mm.
Gilded Era, and but what it focuses on, instead of focusing on the relationship between the freedmen and the newly emancipated Negroes, they more focused on how the new um like Ellis Island new money came over. Because when the Ellis Island, how they kind of explain is when the Ellis Island kind of happened, that was a lot of new money, and the plantation whites did not like them. They didn't like the new money that was coming over. They want to keep them out of the quote word was society. Um, because they wasn't accepted into whiteness.
Right.
So I'm gonna I'm gonna do some more digging when I get time to see what was the relationship and the culture of Black Americans during the Gilded era, and you could also and then like find out what was being um what dance and culture, because it does sound like that ballroom and cakewalk, even the Harlem Stride. It sounds like that all would have been created during that Gilded era, because that was the same era that Lewis Lattimore invented the light bulb. So it's a pretty interesting concept when you take your time and actually kind of dive into it.
Oh,
I just wanted to
okay.
give you that information because I just saw the
Okay.
series. I think it was
Ah,
on Netflix. It might have been on Netflix, but it's so good. You know when things are good and they only give you one episode. I mean, they only give you one season, one pilot season. I think it
yeah.
may extend, but what? All right, so I know I'm kind of rambling, but it's two different TV shows that literally kind of mesh into each other. You have the Gilded Era, and then you have a TV show called The Nick, right? The Nick was a hospital, and it was short for Knickerbocker, which is also the basketball team um, in New York. The Knicks, that's short for Knickerbocker. Um, so if you watch these two series
Mm.
of the Gilded Era, and then you follow it up with watching the series of the Nick, um, also I think they're both HBO, or the Nick is definitely HBO, and then I think the Gilded Era was on Netflix. But when you watch them back to back, you start to see the relationship on how Black American inventions, because it was a Black American who invented that silver. They called it a silver stitch, and it was a stitch that when people had open wounds, it was the only stitch that wouldn't get infected. He thread silver lining through the stitch so that when the body was healing, silver doesn't get infected. The bacteria can't grow on silver. So that was an early invention that this doctor made, but because he was black, you know, it like they kind of put him to the back of the line inside the hospital and type shit like that. But yeah, I say all of that just to kind of circle around that culture that is clearly there in New York when it comes to the dances and the things that were happening around that time.
Thank you. Now say the name again, please.
So the first series is called the Gilded Era.
Hmm.
Um, and then the second series is called the Nick, Knick.
Yeah, I used to be a Knicks fan, but they always lose and stuff.
Yeah.
But no, I meant the person who created the Stitch. Was that a character or a real life invented that
I
movie?
so he was a character in the show. I this was when I wasn't research. I do need to go back and see if that person was a actual character, was an actual person. But what they did do, if he wasn't an actual person, I wouldn't have think they would have gave that credit to that Negro man because of the time that they were in. I think the Gilded Era is set between like the 1910s and 20s. I mean, the Nick is set between 1910s and 20s, and the Gilded Era is set between like the 1880s, 1870s. But they mesh
Okay.
with each other if you watch them back to back. It's a very interesting um overview if you know what you're actually supposed to be looking for. And now with this lens of delineation that we're in, yeah, it'd definitely be a good watch to go back and see and catch some more information.
Okay. I'm glad you brought up, inventing and creating and stuff. It is Black History Month, most specifically Black American. Got to emphasize that. And so, can you give us one inventor, or maybe even more, that you would like to highlight during this live? And good morning, Chichi. I saw you into the room. Go ahead,
So
Simon.
so one of the um inventors I'm gonna bring up, his name is Emmett McHenry, right? What Emmett McHenry did was he invented the domain. So you have the internet and you have everything, but every single app you're on, every bank account you make, every single whatever, if you need to use anything digital, you have to make a email address. You have to give your email, or you have to make a password and a username. Emmett McHenry created he invented the concept of the domain. So anything that ends in .com, .gov, .edu, all these dot whatever's www, whenever it says .com, that's the domain. Um, and that domain is your key. It's literally a key. Everybody wears around their necks. That when it's for you to get into your account, you have to plug that key in, that domain key, for you to enter into a internet space. And shout outs to Emmett McHenry. And when you combine his invention with Marion Croak, was it Marion Croak? Or was Marion Croak the GPS, or was she?
Uh, no, I don't think it was.
Marion Croak. I think it was Marion Croak who.
Let me see. I have my computer.
Uh, yeah,
Sound like you trying to play your laptop over
am I breaking up?
What is it? The
Little
GPS?
brother, you gotta go on mute, bro. Hey, little bro, you gotta go on. Yeah, yeah. Good morning,
He's
brother.
on mute.
Uh,
He
I forget
invented
which
the
one it was.
GPS.
That so
It was
Mir if Marion
Gladys
Croak was G.
West.
Oh,
The
Gladys West. Yes,
GPS?
yeah. I always.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah. Don't tell
I'm
Whoopi
looking
you
for the
got it
one.
wrong. I
All
ain't
right,
gonna tell
then. I
Whoopi
think
you
it was
got it
Miriam Croak. Then. Yeah, don't tell nobody. Wolfie gonna come in here and get me. So, um,
wrong.
but when you combine Emmett McHenry and Miriam Croak's inventions, you actually get the internet altogether. Like that's what the internet is: crossway communication. Um, uh, with the Zoom calls and all the Skype and all this other stuff, with the microphones. You combine that with the domains. Now you get social media. Um, we also have a brother who I gotta go get his name, but I just found this out like 3 days ago. Even this AI that we're using right now, the chip, the chip that they use, that China is using and everybody is using right now, um, to run AI. That chip is based off another Black American genius. I gotta go back and get his name, but I. So yeah, we're the reason for any first world civilization. Um, but sister, let me
Wait, I,
go. Yeah, go ahead real
Let me
quick.
give you some quick information about Miriam Croak, right? And so what it says is meet Miriam Croak, the woman who invented the technology for Zoom, FaceTime, and WhatsApp, finally getting recognition by being inducted into the Inventors Hall of Fame. Marion Rogers Croak, the engineer and inventor who helped make modern voice and video calls possible. And this was written in November 11th, 2025. And that is a very beautiful highlight um, for Black History Month. So, what were you doing? You're about to go join a
Nah,
live
nah,
where you can
nah, nah, nah.
debate?
I'm about to
Oh,
be here. I'm about to be here. I'm just about, I gotta run inside and fill up this jug of water before I head out. I'll give me 2 seconds. That's all.
okay. Can you hear when I'm talking so I can give the brothers my backdrop here?
Yeah, yeah, yep.
Okay,
Excuse me. Yeah, I
good,
can hear you.
good.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Thank you. So, y'all may not know this now. Now, Black Americans are documented in New York since 1623, right? When the Dutch came here and kicked off slavery in this era, right? In this area, New York, what would become known as New York. And I just find it very like erasing and counterproductive to think that we had to wait a whole 300 years to get some music in our life or get some culture. And that includes some of my Southerners, y'all. Y'all do this to New York all the time. So what I have been able to find out, because a lot of New York history is hidden, right? And sometimes it just be hidden in plain sight. But they never want us to know the greatness of us. And y'all know that no matter where we are in the nation. But some places it's just like a double erasure. It's when the mayor elect could get up there and talk about New York was built by immigrants. I have an issue with that. I do have a email campaign demanding that he retracted, and I'll get that link to y'all too. But so what I'm doing for National Black History Month is spotlighting influential people in New York, um, born in New York, or who migrated and helped kick off a genre here in New York before the Harlem Renaissance for today, right? That's not to leave out the South, but I still want to honor my ancestors without them being erased. We're a musical people. So put us in a room with a pencil and a table, and we're going to make some beats. Like, we're just too active to be still with nothing. So a lot of people do that to New York, you know. So today we have Fats Waller, right? And he is Black American. He was born Thomas Wright Waller in Manhattan, New York. Now, don't say nothing when I say this. His family migrated from Virginia in 1888. But he was very instrumental in, so he still has Southern roots, y'all. But he was very instrumental in birthing a sound here in New York, and that was called the Harlem Stride. And that's a piano. So what it says. And he was a pioneer of the Harlem Stride piano style. In New York, they also birthed syncopated, sort of like vaudeville music, and then other genres we like popularized here. So maybe it was created somewhere else, and this is before the Harlem Renaissance. Yes, yes, shut up, Black American House. He's like, oh Lord. Um, yeah, but see, I don't really mean to say this, but Virginia and New York has a special relationship too. So my stepmama, who I say is my mom, 'cause she raised me, and my biological mother is deceased. She's from Virginia, but my family, like my biological mother's family, for some reason, when they leave New York, they going right to Virginia. I got some that went from after Virginia, they went down to North Carolina, and then one went to Georgia. But when we migrate out, we be going right to Virginia. It really is, the Black American House says it really is. It's so many people from Richmond that have ties to New York City. Yeah, let's not let that get out, because then we're going to have a whole nother tether just coming up here. I'm from Virginia. But Little Kim already said she had ties to Virginia. So yeah, we got a beautiful history. So Fats Waller's parents, and then I'll leave it there. So he was considered a cultural icon, was a hometown musical genius of Harlem, and his funeral at the Abyssinian Baptist Church drew over 4,000 mourners. He broke barriers. He was the first Black American, and they put African American, to compose a hit on Broadway, a hit Broadway musical. Yeah. Oh, and he has a descendant who's an NFL player. Is that named Darren? I think it's Darren Walker, y'all. Y'all heard of him? Waller. It could be Waller.
Nah, I haven't heard of him. But how everybody doing this morning? Hey, BX.
Hey,
Morning,
good morning.
BX.
How you?
Morning,
Hey,
Good
look, how
BX.
about
morning.
old
The
big
little
brother?
brother.
What's up? Simon
Good
Prime,
Prime,
what's
what
morning,
up,
up,
Mr.
family?
bro?
Lisa.
What's up? What's up?
What up,
I'm just
family?
checking
Well,
in.
look into him. He's an icon. He has an icon for a grandfather, I think, or great grandfather. But go ahead.
Oh no, no, I was saying about the African American thing. Uh, Me and my wife looking into that whole African American, where that term come from. I'm gathering some information right now. It's looking like the African American, because we know it was a very small. It wasn't that many amount of Africans that came over here, but the people who did, we kind of looking into that, and we finding out maybe that term was actually created more for them, because there was a very small African people who came here, who migrated
No,
here.
it was not created for. We're not going to start
Oh,
that.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I was
African
looking
American,
into.
hold on. African American was used once in the 1700s on this land, right? It was in a paragraph because, Sister Kiki, if she ever pops up, she is going to argue us down about this term and when it came into effect. But if not mistaken, and Simon could chime in, after a while, they couldn't call the ancestors slaves, and so they started calling them African. Simon, can you say yes or no?
That African American term came into play um, in a few minor ways, but it
Okay.
kind of just grew. It was used in a newspaper article. That's not which is not a actual, which is not an actual like government official document. It was just used in a op ad back in the day. And so then what we had was a few of our African was kind of just to say that you're not white. Um, in some regions it was regional. Like you may have like had a church here or there. Our people did a lot of stuff to just let white people know that we weren't them, because of the issues we were dealing with. Um, but calling ourselves African American, that was never a thing until recently. Our ancestors were happy to be called Negro Americans, regular just Americans. Um, because I think what some of us are having an issue with understanding is that all through slavery, all through Reconstruction, like we were the engine, the mental engine of this nation. We were the physical and the mental part. In some societies, you may have a group of people that's literally just the physical engine. You'll have some people that are literally the mental engine. We were the physical and the mental engine. What the white person was, he had the power of the pen, right? He had the government. He had the government engine on his side. And so when you have the pen in the government, we all know you can write laws. But when it
Yeah,
came to the actual, but that African American term, it's never been on birth certificates. Even in, even back when it was in that newspaper ad, it never was on. Nobody ever got birthed out of a free womb or a Negro womb and was called an African American. No one ever. It now socially it was used a couple times socially, but in documents it wasn't a thing. Those Africans that came over earlier, Africans didn't hardly call themselves Africans. They would socially allow you to call them an African, and then in that same breath, they will let you know what country and tribe they were from. It was never
In
a
the early days, I mean, like enslavement time.
no. I'm talking about yeah. Well, the Africans from Africa didn't actually start coming over here until they trickled in. You had some people that visited like ambassadors in the
yeah.
1900s and the 1930s,
See,
but they was just ambassadors. They came and left.
yeah. Then I was saying, like I said, we're doing a little research. My wife been looking into it. Like I got some I can pull up, but we're gonna have to have the conversation. I really just came up to check up on UBX. Okay, I know it was kind of hectic last night. I was in the live earlier.
Yeah,
Word,
I wanted
Yeah,
word,
I
to.
was
Lee.
just I
So
was check I
give
was
me
checking
one
what you
moment.
good. 'Cause I never
Thank
seen you
you.
kind of crash out like that.
Word.
Well, it was a whole lot of, But I want to say this. Excuse me for cutting you off and just saying no. It would do your research, correct? Because you might find some jewels and some gems that you could come back. So I didn't mean to cut you off like that. Please do the research. But as far as I know, after a while, when the ancestors were emancipated and they couldn't call them slaves anymore, then they were calling them African. So yeah, it was a lot of I felt like I was being accused of something. They were talking too general, but I was the only one on the stage with them. So I was like, just tell me what you got to say about BX, because like, what are we talking about?
Where you was
I
at?
think that
Where you was at, BX?
in Dynasty Room, a Dynasty Freeman's room. But here's my issue, right? I don't follow exposing agents. People come over to me and be like, "BX, they're doxing you," and it's just I told everybody, stop telling me. What I already know. What can I do? I'm here to mod. I'm here to be a voice for the lineage, my ancestors. I ain't make no promises to nobody else but the ancestors, right? But it was a whole lot of I throw rocks and hide my hands, and I'm in group chats, and everybody knows I leave group chats. I tell everybody, don't put me in no group chats. They was asking about who's checking lineage, and they was saying that I was disrespecting Amara because somebody showed her picture asking if she was West Indian or Ethiopian and stuff. But I'm like, I wasn't saying all of that. I was saying we have to bring her to the forefront and then just ask her. But we do lineage check, meaning not
Amara is Black
show me
American.
your
So
family.
this what I don't
Yeah,
like. Just
and
because
when you
someone's, I don't like just because like someone may be attractive doesn't mean that they're not a Black American.
No, they went looking for information. That not that they looked. Somebody brought somebody some information and brought a picture that she had on her Instagram
mhm.
when she was modeling, and she was like on a flag, the Ethiopian flag, and she took pictures with Shaggy. Now we do know Amara knows celebrities because she knows
The
Lord,
girl
Lord Jamar.
travel like, and
Yeah.
she
Right.
Oh, you can put me on the big
Yeah.
screen. This also what I was talking about right
Yeah.
they
here.
want
This
everybody
is
to
context
be
also with the African
they
American
want
thing.
everybody to be down and in the slumps, and that's what I'm saying. That African Methodist Episcopal Church. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They just
I,
It's kind of
but I
crazy.
want y'all to read this right here.
you
The
can't really
context.
see it though.
Yeah, I
You
agree
gotta
for you. It said at the
okay.
time the community was early composed of individuals who were born in Africa or were first generation descendants, right?
What
So
date is
so
this?
This is on this Google. This is on AI. This is about the sermon. The
That's what I'm saying.
1782
What
sermon.
date is it?
In the 1782.
1782 sermon. Yeah, about and that's
Read
what I was
that.
saying.
Can you?
I was just doing a little research on the African American, the sermon. Like I said, I'm just seeing where the context of where this came from. You know that
Right, right.
term.
But that was
Wait,
it's
hold
basically
on.
about the enclaves.
Right, no, but do you have an image of the book or something? Is this from a book? It says first recorded, and this is what me and Kiki, I think, used to argue. Not me and Kiki, but Kiki used to argue when we would say African American is just now used in 1988. She would pull up something from the 1700s. It was like one little line that referenced African American, and everybody be going in on her, and she be going in on us because she give us just as good as she got, right?
Yeah,
See
yeah,
right up
But what
there,
I'm saying
BX, right
is,
up there. It says
yeah,
1782 sermon title, a sermon
yeah.
on.
right,
See,
Now that
see,
is about the
but was it in a
enclave
book?
but what I'm saying is that the people who
Mhm,
created, about who first used that term, were from
mhm.
were
Africa.
African.
Yeah, was actually from the
Um,
continent of Africa. That was born in
mhm.
Africa. That's what it was said right here. I'm sorry I can't put up the whole thing because
No, it's okay.
because it got my name, because my wife sent this to me, so it got my name right there in
Oh,
it.
oh, oh, I
Yeah,
got you. I got
I don't want to dox myself.
He just have to
Yeah.
crop
you.
it first, but he have to
Yeah,
just go crop it and then
but
come back with it.
I was saying that right here it says that they was born in Africa or were first generation descendants. So that means that it was used in 1782. Mind you, our people were still enslaved, so they didn't really have a title. So I was just saying, like, I'm doing some research more into of how that term was really created by Africans who was from the continent, and it wasn't really created by actually our own people. So I was just
But
bringing some
that,
historical
but
context.
yeah,
And I
and
was trying to
that's what
clarify.
I'm trying to say. That
One
it
minute,
really.
let Jerika
Go
get it
ahead,
out, and
Jerika.
then
My bad.
Miss Jackson.
And I
Go
was
ahead,
also trying to
Jerika.
clarify, like, because even down here, right, they had those who came off the boat. They were classified as African, and then they had the ones who were already here, the free people of color in the 1700s. We were black or Negro. That's why when people say they never heard the term African American before, I'm like, I read about it in the late 1700s. So, that's why I'm like, I didn't fully blame Jesse Jackson, but I also know the history of it, and it was the small enclaves of African first, second generations that used the term African American.
Yeah, actually, people who was born on the continent of Africa who used the term. The very
Yeah,
small group who came here, and these people was not enslaved. They came here. They immigrated here. They the ones who used this term. And I was
That's
just
what I'm
giving some
saying. They were
context.
ambassadors. Like some of these
Yeah,
Africans that came here, they didn't stay. They weren't.
yeah,
Yeah, like they were ambassadors. They came to see and look and
yeah.
try to actually pay off
your phone going out.
American
Your phone
slavery.
going in and out, Simon.
That's what they. That's what. I
Yeah,
might be in a better. Yeah,
There you
every time I
go.
take that turn right there.
Well, me personally, ABX,
So,
how you doing, sis?
Yeah, I'll just give some historical
fine. How are
context because you
you?
know how they love to bring this up about the African American. And you kind of spoke about it. I was just letting my people know, look, this term was given to us by some of the people were actually African, born on the continent. It
So
wasn't
now
the people who
here's
was
the issue.
enslaved.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
that's
here's
why it
the
said,
issue. It's like a double-edged sword, right? Because it's a good reason that we could have it removed. We're not African. We don't have no connection to the continent. But now, saying that, are we giving it to them? My grandmother ain't African, but her underlying certificate says African American, and we accomplished so much under this. So there's so many facets to it. I thank you for bringing that to my attention. I did see it in an early. That's why I was asking you, was it in a book? Because I did see it in a book from somebody who pulled the resource. Who is Tia says it has to be retired.
yeah,
But I'm just because people hear stuff and we don't know who in the hallway and be like, yeah, Africans gave us so we could use African American. No, they can't. If I am my ancestor, my early ancestor, my granny, right? She just transitioned in 2011. Is marked as an African American, and she ain't never told me about no Africa.
yeah,
Correct, correct,
Yeah, and
correct.
that's what I'm saying. Especially if I'm on stage, because I know like people be in the hallways,
Good morning,
like
Prince.
anything African American. If like that's what I was saying. It was never a official government
yeah. Term.
title.
Hmm.
It was never official government term. It was a social. It was just something social
You
that
check
people just followed behind for.
check
You know
this
what I'm saying? It wasn't.
check this out, brother. Jesse Jackson, Jesse
Thank you.
Jackson's
Can y'all see the
nephew, a
damn smart
cousin.
me too?
He came on. I think Receipt got the recording. He says, I say, why is it that Jesse is a card carrying Indian, but we got to be Afro Americans? And his cousins say it was a political move, and he was doing. No, man, no. It's good if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. Come on,
Yeah,
you gonna turn us into this, but you a whole nother thing. Well, then you ain't one of us. Then whatever
yeah,
we gonna decide to be, but you ain't even it.
yeah. But now I was more so saying, like, I just giving her historical context of
No, no,
who
no, no.
kind of,
I see what I see.
yeah,
What I see.
yeah.
I could see it. But where my allergies is killing me. I need to get up, and take my pill. But
Yeah,
you know,
I don't think people
9/11,
see
all that TikTok
the people
shop.
were born. I don't think people see the part that they said they was born in Africa.
but but
So
but
I'm saying like there was real continental Africans who first brought the
I mean
term,
that's fine,
and
bro. That's fine,
and,
bro. But I'm
Yeah,
just
that
and
saying
that's fine.
we were
Well,
throwing him against the wall
what I'm
all
but
day,
what I'm
all
saying
night.
is I was saying
but
more
that's what
so.
I'm wait. So prime time. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's why slave doesn't mean African.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
of
why
course.
black doesn't mean African. If there was some early uh uh migrant ambassadors that came and just as they were just walking around America, you know, in their little enclave, they called themselves African,
Mm-hmm.
but in their homeland they didn't call themselves African.
No,
That wasn't a thing.
That's
they
So
go
because
back.
they didn't
even if
have
They go
it
by their tribe.
they
they go
didn't
by their
have
tribe. So even if they did come to America, like certain information, like I'm not even exposing no more. That Methodist Baptist Church and this early African shit, it don't, to me, it's pointless information. But I see
Mm-hmm.
what I think I see what you're trying to say, trying, for us to be prepared. But when they every time they bring up that information, it's like our people at that time, right, were 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 taking social terms that would just mean opposite of white. But that's not a legal definition. African American has never been on anybody's birth certificate. Anybody could trademark a damn, open up a nonprofit 501c in a church and call it an African Methodist Episcopal Church. It's a government entity. You know what
Oh
I'm saying?
yeah.
It's just a nickname. You can name your building whatever you want. That don't mean the people that go to this church are now all Africans. That's not how it works.
I'm
Look,
looking
man.
at my birth
I
certificate.
know.
Let Jerika, because Jerika been trying to say something.
Come
If you
on,
just,
Jareka.
go ahead,
What's
Jerika.
going on, sis?
Oh no, I lost my train of thought. It's okay. I'll wait.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
looking
So
at
I
my
want
birth
to ask this
certificate right
question.
now, and it don't
When,
say
when,
What?
nothing
What?
African.
Well, I'm D Yoda. Hey, everybody, I'm D
I
Yoda,
tell
and I only
Hey,
y'all,
gotta make
Leona.
Broski.
I only gotta make two submissions. One, because I just kept coming in and out of the space, but I've been here before everybody. I love y'all. Two,
I
oh,
love you too.
and then two. Thank you, yes. But I ain't want to derail the space too much, and I want to get back
Whatever.
on topic. But I just had to make a submission to Brother Daryl real quick because he doesn't follow
Uh-huh.
me, and I was trying to get because someone was trying to get him somewhere. And so I couldn't, and that's what I was trying to tell, and I was trying to follow all this entire time. So sorry about that, family. Like I
Damn, for real, you
apologize,
was?
but I had to make two submissions to Hey Auntie BS and Daryl follow me
Hey,
because someone was trying to get you to say something about the earlier space we was in. So that's my fault, family.
Oh yeah, that was wild, bro. That's what they be doing. You gotta call them out. That's why I say them. They always, you can tell. But you're good. But I like that about you though, because you give them a chance. Like you gave them a chance, but they gonna start turning like on that coon stuff. I don't know what's up with them. But thank you though. I appreciate you, Dale, though, for real. Thank you. I appreciate that. What was your brother Simon? Simon was saying to the brother. So was the brother saying that we were? I'm not. What was like his
My
ontology
mom
that we're
about my
Africans? Is that what he was saying?
no. What I'm saying is that the term African American were more so associated more with the actual people who was born in Africa who came over here. These are not people who were enslaved. Understand? We talk about the transatlantic slave trade, right? These people weren't actually like people who was born in
right.
America, like our descendants. Like we got actual people who family lineage go back to the 1700s, the 1600s. This sermon came in
Question though.
1792. So what I'm saying is that the term was first used by actual Africans. So it was just a rebuttal to anybody who loved to bring up the sermon aspect of, oh, our people been calling us that. It was like, no, those people weren't actually our people. Those people were actually Africans from the continent, and it wasn't us.
Kind of harms my reason for taking away the thing. It'll help keep it in use.
Oh
Yeah.
no! Oh, Oh no,
Right.
prompt time. I
And
didn't.
since we're associated with, go ahead, Deoda.
Yeah, go ahead,
Oh,
Dio.
no, BS, go ahead, because I was just finna say, because like I've always knew about that information, but not that information what Prime Time just shared. So thank you for sharing that. But I'll talk about I always know about the information about the African American Methodist Church and how they try to use that against us. But
Yeah, it was
my
actual
argument was
immigrants.
for
There was
yeah,
immigrants. They wasn't us. There wasn't our. There
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
people who
Like
were
I my
descendants of chattel
yeah, I
slavery.
just
Yeah. No, I was just
Yeah, because
clarifying.
I would say it didn't it never applied to us just
Hmm.
off the simple fact that because it existed in 1792, we're talking about a group of people that was here prior to that. That's the reason why when Simon said, "Hey, yo, slave doesn't mean African," because slave did not mean African, black did not mean
Right.
African.
Thank you,
So
Miss
that part
Miles.
of 1792 would 1792 was just a social term that never applied to us. So thank you, Prime Time. Didn't know that.
So I have a question though. When was Africa named Africa?
Africa was given this name by the Romans, I believe. Was it the
What
Romans,
year?
y'all? So that had to be what Rome was big. That's like what
Something
the sixth,
Africana.
7th century or some shit like that.
Something Africana. I forgot it first.
Had to be something in that time frame wherever the Roman Empire was kind of fully in charge and they was pretty much taking over the world.
And he was the conqueror.
Yeah, but I
I
was
have a
more so just
question.
giving light to, and this is more for Daryl. I was more so just giving
When
light to how that term was actually created by actual Africans, and they put it on our whole ethnicity. So I was
In the
just giving light to that.
1600s.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you.
17, if you
before
think about 1792, our people were in chattel slavery. They was enslaved. They couldn't even name themselves. So
before
I
who made
get
that
that. I
sermon?
get that. I get
before
that. I was trying to see what
bef-
came first, the term or the continent's name. But go ahead, Jericho.
before Africa became the standard term used by European cartographers in the 17th century, the continent was known by other names, including Libya, Ethiopia, and according to some scholars, the indigenous term Akaluba, as in mother of mankind.
It's so hard to say. I say Allah Hakuhu. I don't know, bro. That
It's
because
it's it's Alkabula, but
yeah, yeah,
Acabulon.
yeah. But Miss
Acabulon.
oh, I'm sorry,
JoJo
I
is
thought it was an
right.
H. I'm sorry, I'm blind as a bat. Um, but
And it
yeah,
has a but Miss BS it has a double LL.
ALL.
Okay,
Yeah.
I
okay.
have
See,
ALK.
W.
I
But
have
yeah,
I know there's
ALKEBULAN.
I know there's a K in there too.
I
it
got
mainly just for rebuttal.
ALLK.
Because I know y'all hear the Pan Africans come up in here all the time and be like, they pointed this sermon specifically, the 1792 sermon. They pointed that one and say, well, this was when the term was first created and used, right? We all know
Uh
this.
huh.
So I'm saying is the people who used it were actual continental Africans. There wasn't the people of chattel slavery.
I know. I know.
So that's more so I just put my people up on game and give them some historical context to why them people said African, because they was actually African. And
I was wondering why we had all these African Baptist Methodist
mhm.
churches.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
remember,
they even had little
first
African
generation
town.
African. I
Remember,
mean,
like if you look at the
Yeah.
history, little
that's why they
African
say
town.
first generation. That's why they say first generation Africans and people born in Africa. That's what they
they
using
don't
those
want to give the
specifically.
full
They ain't giving
context.
they ain't giving the whole historical context and truth that our people didn't label themselves that. And them people didn't actually label themselves
Okay,
anything
so
at the
can you
time.
find me the resource that shows our people didn't label themselves that? Because we got to have a counter when they say, okay, well, yeah, that's more reason to keep African American in use. I
I'm
need
still doing
a
research,
resource.
BX. So
So
give me
thank
some
you.
time. Me and my wife doing research, just looking more
No,
into it.
I
I
think
just
the
found that little
research.
piece.
No, I
Well,
think the
BX
evidence. No, I was about
BX
to say.
mom
I think my fault, little brother. I was about to say I think the evidence in itself is that it only applied to Philadelphia, and we were not all of us like not to say all of us can't trace ourselves to some type of Philadelphia, but it still wouldn't apply to all of us because even around that time we were still undergoing the label of Negro and colored and other forms. So even then, that's the counter evidence I use because that it just wouldn't make sense that our whole entire ethnic group was calling each other that. It just because we always understood we were black, we were Negro.
Yeah.
So that
Well,
that would be my counter argument. But go ahead, little brother. And then after little brother, I got a more recent submission because I want to put my people on game on this. But go ahead, big
well,
dog.
my mother passed away. My mother and father passed away about 5 years ago.
My
And before she
condolences.
passed away, I've said this before. Uh, she didn't say, that we are African or nothing African. It's like the room we was in the other day, BX, and the brother, cause I got flagged for it. The brother, the older gentleman, one that was 60 years old. I forgot his Jeff something Jeff. Anyway, he kept saying, well, where you come from? Well, can you call Africa right now? Can anybody on this panel call Africa? Call your mama and your grandmama in Africa. I can't. I don't have no numbers. I don't know nobody over there. So all that African stuff, miss me with it. Go ahead, brother. I land.
Because I know little brother and BSing out because I met little brother on Twitter, so I already know he on Twitter. But BS, I know I've seen you kind of move over there. And y'all see what was happening
Your
around
phone
the
going in and
Jamaican
out.
woman. She on TikTok. Oh, my fault, my fault. Have anybody seen the controversy around the Jamaican woman, with the witty girl who made that caricature and stole it from one of our foundational Black American brothers, director Daddy? If y'all seen him on TikTok, because I know BX is on Twitter. I know little brother from Twitter, so like that. So I don't know if they made their way over to Twitter and seen it yet.
Twitter page. And Twitter migrated over here and got on my nerves. I said, I don't need to go back to Twitter.
I go over there and check in every now and then, but it ain't. Nah, I need that. I'm looking. Like I say, BX. You know me. I sleep. I sleep with my fist balled up.
We're going to call him Little Brother on Elm Street. Now, say that again. There was a Jamaican lady, you say, or a Caribbean lady? Like, what did you say?
Jamaican. She's on here on TikTok too. So we could
Mhm.
definitely find her at it's witty girl or it's
Okay.
wit girl something like that. And yeah, she also made a horror film based on sacrificing Black Americans. By the way,
Oh,
Oh
Oh,
wow!
somebody sent that
yeah,
to me.
yeah, I
yes, yes,
Yeah.
heard.
Lions
yes.
and
So, what
tigers and
happened?
bears. Oh my!
Yeah, see, yes. But I first encountered information on, Twitter. But that's why I was like, she is on TikTok too as well. Like because she tried to make herself this to be like it's celebrity, right? Because I guess her profile says she do rap, but yeah, she's now working with Disney, and she made a caricature about a stereotypical Black American man. I guess he's supposed to be a superhero, and his name's supposed to be Do Rag Man. But like I said, she stole the idea from a foundational Black American, and he's on here on Twitter as well. His name is Director Daddy. I don't like saying that name, gosh, but that's
Right.
one of our foundational. That's one of our foundational Black American brothers, and he made the superhero called, I guess, Super Digger, and so she stole it. She stole it from him. And so like we don't have to make the case for delineation anymore because we're literally constantly seeing it and how they have this vitriol against us. But yeah, she made a whole film about how I guess we supposed to look down on them, but meanwhile, like she no Black American has ever made a film about sacrificing another quote
Oh, I know
unquote
exactly what you're talking about, man. Man, my wife sent me that shit too last night. She sent me a whole bunch of information. I got my wife on
I didn't.
delineation. I got my wife
I
on.
didn't.
She informing me about a lot of this conversation. But yeah, she showed me
See
that
what?
about the a whole woman talk about sacrificing us and stuff like
I
that.
didn't to save the island of
Yeah, they say the
Jamaica.
island of Jamaica. Hold on,
But
I think I got the screenshot.
You
Hold
know
on.
I
what?
didn't see it. I don't want to see it personally, but I didn't see it. But I heard. I think it's Love Jones. She was talking about it.
You know
How
what? Let her
she
make
made
her
this.
let her make some money, and who
How about it's right here, y'all. We got
the
the
brother
actual
need to
Twitter
go
post,
ahead
so I
and
can
get
let our
ready and
people put on
get his
game.
lawyer going.
This is what it said. The fact I created a horror film about how, what did it say? I can't say that. African Americans consider other Black people beneath them, and how so many people try to gaslight and say they view Jamaicans as equals. And I think that's lack. Anyway, stream my movie. This the woman right here. This is her Twitter page. This is the woman. If y'all want to go check out her page on Twitter, I'm not on Twitter. I'm
No,
not on
it's
X
the same.
personally. The Deoda
No,
seem
no,
like
no,
he
no.
more on it of who
Yeah,
she is. You own it, Deoda?
Why she
yeah,
not
yeah.
saying
That's why I
support
said
Jamaican
she's.
filmmakers?
But
Yeah,
this is
and
her
this is
actual
why.
page. This is the trailer for her
Yeah, that's
film.
her actual page.
Yeah. But
Now,
my wife put me up on. I didn't know nothing about it until my wife put me up on it.
now she's claiming to be a bride. Now, no, because a lot of our foundational Black American brothers and sisters on Twitter are calling her out for the BS, and now she's trying to claim to be a bi-ethnic. You know how they always love to try to bi-ethnic their way into the lineage.
Right.
It's a saying, hey, yo, she to like, so it's weird. But that's why I said she's on TikTok as well. That's her at the same at on TikTok. So if you want to see what like I haven't checked her at on TikTok yet, but she clearly promote herself on TikTok as well.
Hopefully,
I
brother
seen
get
her
his. Hopefully,
post
brother.
on Twitter
I
from
was.
her TikTok.
Hopefully, brother got his lawyers ready, and you
Yeah.
know if he need to set up a GoFundMe, I understand too. But he need to go ahead and get himself together because ain't no way in the world I'll let that ride. That was the same
Well,
thing when James Earl
My brother
about
is calling it
the
out.
Kunta about Roots when James Earl had to
No, no,
the he had to pay a lawsuit money.
no, little
Baba Dick
brother.
Gregory broke that down, and he had to pay
but
the
I have an
lawsuit money.
important question.
No,
How
little
did
brother.
she know his character?
Little,
I didn't hear you, brother.
no, because oh, I was about to say, director, Jesus, the director brother, I'm not gonna say that. The director brother has called her out on it. That's why I said, please go follow
Daddy.
our brother. Like,
No,
he's
you can
actually,
It's not
yeah,
She
director
trying to make
daddy.
money. She making money
Wait,
off of it.
I got an important
He need to
question.
go get her.
Wait, little
He
brother,
need to be snatched.
this is important. How did she get a hold of his character? He was showing his work and she saw
Yes.
it, or they
Yes.
were friends?
I even remember the character Super Negro. I remember that, and I'm not even on Twitter.
Yeah. No. Director Daddy is on TikTok. Please go follow. Please, he's calling it out. Please go support and follow our brother. Like, he's a foundational Black American. He's calling the bullshit out. He directly see that she stole from his character Super Nigga because he present himself on TikTok. He does a lot of his
Okay.
work majority here on TikTok. So that's the reason why I was like, oh, y'all. But I've come across some of his clip
Good
is
morning,
one to two times
Charmaine.
before I start talking about delineation here on TikTok. But he's a foundational Black American, and he's calling it out. So like, but please, I just don't like saying the name because I'm a straight up nigga, like director daddy, Jesus. But
I hope the brother
but
got
But
his
yeah, he
ducks in a
came out
row.
with that. He came out with that character like a few years ago. You know what I'm saying? Probably more than a few years ago. And I've been on TikTok for what, This year makes 6 years, 5, 6 years. So yeah, I've been new about it.
I hope he got his ducks in a row because, like I say, James Earl Ray did the same thing with the movie Roots with Kunta Kinte and all of that, and he had to pay that person. So I hope the brother got his ducks in a row, and if he needs some money for a lawyer, he needs to go ahead and start setting up the cash. Excuse me, the GoFundMe right now because he got a case. If she stole it, bam, she got to prove that she came up with it.
So basically, she stole his
But I
intellectual
can say this real
property.
fast. I can say this real fast because I got to hop off. I got some stuff to do today. Hey, but I love the family. I love all y'all. Keep on fighting a good fight. I'll be back on later. I was just checking on BX, making sure she was cool.
Yeah, I'm over here holding
About
it
her,
down too,
everything went
Prime.
on, auntie. I don't like how they try to gaslight you.
Yeah, word.
Yeah, I just
Prime,
didn't
that's
like.
why I jump on when I
just
see
didn't
it.
like that shit last night because everybody know BX. You're not out here checking people paperwork like your birth certificates and dumb shit like that. We do lineage checks. We do that, but it's not in the type of way of actually seeing your paperwork. You just want to know you're foundational Black American or not.
Right.
So we're gonna ask you some questions, and nothing wrong with asking questions. That's
Yeah,
part of the process.
no
That's so
doubt.
we can understand. That's so we can understand
Yeah.
their thought process, their frame of mind. Because if they're bi-ethnic or not a foundational Black American, of course they're not going to be on the same page with a lot of the topics or conversations. No, we don't. We're not saying we want an echo chamber, but we want to understand your thought process of it. That's the same way if we have a biracial and they got a YT mama, they grew up with the YT mama's everything in them because that's how they were raised. That's the mindset they have. So it's just like that. People don't understand that.
And sis, I got flagged yesterday because of that because the young lady, she beating around the bush. I'm African. I'm American. I'm Black American. But okay, if you from Nigeria, okay. It's all right. We don't have nothing against nobody. Just don't come in cosplaying us, talking like us, because I remember she was getting into it with you. And I'm like, something ain't right here. Something's not right. Because I hit housing on the back end like housing. This ain't right, bro. I'm finna get up out of here. I can't do because the energy ain't right.
Good morning, Ken.
Oh yeah, the last little bit of my information too. I don't know who that FBA Nate guy is, but he was recording the live and playing it on his live. So we gotta be careful. People are recording, they live recording these conversations that we have with each other. I don't know for what reason, but they live recorded our whole conversation on Dynasty Live.
I don't
Because
think
I went over there to
FBA Nate is us,
Nate
though.
Live. We follow each other, so I just want to let y'all know: is be careful what y'all saying. People are recording, and people are playing it on their lives.
I don't think FBA Nate is us, bro.
Sow the seeds
Well,
of
he already
division, so
said
we
it
gotta be real
on
careful.
our side. He already said that
What?
he's anti-Halo.
BX, you read
and
your comment
for-
section?
Yeah, I read it. That's why I said, oh.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
no,
putting
no.
people up on game, man. I gotta leave y'all, man. I love all y'all. Talk to y'all later.
Love you too.
Be smooth, Prime.
Love Prime Time. But
All right.
Let's catch up later,
Hey,
God.
prime time.
Adonis?
Good morning,
He
y'all.
is one of the most like
Yeah,
sweetest people
Adonis?
ever.
Yeah, I don't want to come and derail your lives, sis, but it just literally happened, and I'm just like, I felt lost because the cops made him shut his live down. But some guy came up on him. He was doing his morning video, and he's in Romania, and some YT guy comes up on him, asking for some money. He says, "No, I don't have no money for you." So the guy starts, kind of like pump faking, like puffing up his chest and saying like, "This is Romania. You don't know this country. You don't know." Something like just threatening him. And Adonis was like, "Yo, get away from me." So then the guy kind of starts like elbowing him a little bit. Adonis pushed him like, "Get away from me." And then I don't know if the guy spit on him or spit at him and then kind of tried to push him again. And the next thing that Adonis goes out the frame. And then when Adonis turned the camera, the guy was laid out, straight out. Whatever he hit him, knocked the guy was out for a good 3 minutes. So then of course the Romanians all start gathering around. They were not taking sides. That's why I stick to Western Europe. They were not like taking sides, but they were just kind of trying to figure out what happened. Some guy Yeah, he didn't know Sharika. Some guy came up and was speaking on behalf of Adonis, but then the cops made Adonis shut the live down. Literally, I'm just kind of condensing all of what happened.
Adonis
Wani was
need
on
to
the
get
live,
out
so
of there.
she saw Wani with the A. So we just gotta pray for him and just keep an eye out for it. It's probably gonna go viral because I mean he knocked that dude straight out. They was like, "Are you a boxer?" He was like, "No, I'm just a Black American."
Yeah, it's time for Adonis to kind of stop going to them countries.
No,
Yeah,
he's going to
I
continue to
was
travel
saying,
because he don't let anybody scare him. He let
Now
you
it's not
know his
about being
ancestors.
scared.
No, no, no. It's
yeah.
not going to stop him from traveling. That's
Yeah.
the point.
I
He said
mean,
no
get up
matter.
out of that country. You didn't clear them and the cops shut you down. It's
No,
time to get
no,
out of
it's
there.
not. We gotta remember, it's not also about being scared, but it's also about like what happens to things. Like, what's that? What that 83 kid that we had to save
Your phone breaking up there, Oda.
from
Yeah, you
Ukraine?
breaking up,
Y'all.
bro.
Yeah.
Good
Okay.
morning, Black
What?
Love. Good
Brittany Griner.
morning.
I was saying it's not
Oh
about being
yeah.
But
scared. It's about
she
like,
had a little bit of she had a little bit of
Rugs.
Mary Jane on her.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's just how Russia is.
But
A little bitty.
She had a
yeah.
little
See now,
tan.
I
see,
think
you
he's
see
gonna
how
be
you just
okay. I'm gonna
said
be
you.
honest with you because
But
there were
wait.
Romanians that was speaking on his behalf and is going with him to translate exactly what happened, and it's all on live recording. That guy was totally aggressive towards him, totally accosting him, pushing him, spit at him. I mean, come on. So I
I
think
mean,
he'll be
it
fine. I
sounds
just want y'all
right,
to
but
keep
we
your
don't
eye
know the
open for
laws in
the.
that country either because we don't know the laws in the country. I hope the brother be all right. Once again, if he need to set up a live, I mean a GoFundMe or whatever,
No, I don't think
we
he
just
needs it.
support that, get him up out of there. Cause those little foreign governments like that, they accept bribes.
Yeah, I don't think he needs. Well, let's just see. My goal was to just come up here, BX, and kind of tell y'all to just look out for it because it
Thank
literally
you.
just happened. He literally just knocked the dude out.
Words, sis. I appreciate
Wow.
Yeah,
that.
no
Cause
Thank
I
you.
problem.
keep my eye open for Adonis, man. He good guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's Europe, not the
yeah,
States.
yeah.
To my gray
Don't
badges,
bother no.
please complete your daily heart meet to activate your fan status, please. Oh, thank you, Kim B. That's crazy. But you know, sometimes white tea people, and it don't matter what type of white tea, they always trying to test us.
Yo, when y'all see how he knocked him out, and
Mm.
when the guy got up, his whole face was twisted. I mean, from one
Ooh.
hit, his whole face was twisted to the side.
Adonis not a little dude either.
That
You
guy
know
was
what
like
I mean?
6 foot. That guy was standing a couple of feet over
And
him too.
he husky. He got a
Mm-hmm.
frame on him.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Damn, I wonder what he was. Like he was just walking down the street, or was it at a
He was like a
like?
begging for money. So that's how it
No,
started. He asked him for money, and when Adonis said no, he got very nasty.
no, I was
Yeah, well, that's
asking
how
because
they
in
think.
Romania, I was asking because in Romania, in certain places, you self defense is cool, but
He's
in
in
certain places,
Budapest, Budapest,
But
Budapest.
see, Rika, that's how they do us when we could. When I used to travel like that, I didn't care where I was at. You got money. You from America. You got money. Give me money. I remember I would go to the store
I know that. I was just trying to finish my
and
sentence. I was just saying
I'm
that
sorry. Go ahead,
in certain
sis.
places in Romania, self defense, while generally allowed, is restricted in specific locations and during specific
Oh,
activities. That's why I was asking. That's all I was asking. I know about the begging that goes on
Bucharest.
around the world. I've traveled before myself, so I know that. I was just trying to figure out that. That's all.
He's in Bucharest,
All I was
Bucharest,
saying to you,
Sharika.
sis, was that when I was traveling, every time I would go to the DR, I would go to the store, buy something, some cigars or a bottle or whatever. As soon as I get my change, it was always this old lady. She'd be sitting right there. The store full. Her hand right there. I'm like, God damn. Catch me on the streets. I'm buying some food. Hand. I don't know where the hell she be coming from. But her hand was always out. I'm like, this lady here is ridiculous. Wait a minute, lady. Didn't I just give you some money yesterday? It's the next day. She still wants some more money. They don't care. It's that American dollar we bring with us.
Now,
They have no class, no respect, nothing. You can You can give them $20 today. Tomorrow they gonna want another 20.
Wait, is it Carrie or Ken? I'm sorry, I can't see your name, ma'am.
Kenya.
Okay, Kenya. Now you said it was like immediate. He put his phone down and he handled it just like that, right?
He didn't put
It
the
was
phone
one
down. He
hit.
has it on, I guess, whatever the tripod it was on. But he
Uh huh.
kept trying to defuse the guy, like, just get away from me, right? And then he
Okay,
told the
so he
guy,
tried. Okay.
go ahead.
Now, because I was reading, because they say key aspects of Romanian self-defense laws, like conditions, the attack must be direct, immediate, and unjust, as in, um, not unjust as in like injustices, but like it has to be immediate and not as excessive. You know what I'm saying? Like the person was elbowing him, correct?
Elbowing him, pushing him, spit on him,
Okay, so
Oh,
he
that's
did
it.
one hit. He did one hit, handled his
knocked
business,
him
boom, boom, bam.
straight out,
Okay,
y'all.
so he good. He should be good.
That's what I'm
In
saying.
Romania.
That's what I think of.
Yes.
Bet on them?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Well,
on his
Yeah.
face. Adonis didn't even know the man had spit on him. They had
Yeah.
to tell him that.
Yeah. I'm cleaning this clock too. Yep.
And in
Uh,
America, that's I don't know. I know y'all don't know me that well, but in America, I say that is I consider that a biological attack. And
Yeah.
I have every reason and right to defend my person, however I see fit.
Yeah.
And
I'd rather you swing on me than to spit on me, cause you spit on me. Man, look here. I ain't going. I ain't
they're
going for
gonna have
none
a
of it
nice little
anyway.
second line, man. Your family gonna have a nice little second line right after
Right.
after you,
Catch.
baby.
I'm finna give you this fade.
I'm sorry, I didn't
I
mean to
ain't going
interrupt
for
your live
none of
VX,
it.
but it just literally happened. And the cops, he told the cops a few times he was not shutting down a live. He said, I'm an American here. And, like this guy just attacked me. And they was like, well, once we get to the police station, you can't legally record. Again, I don't know their laws. So then he was like, all right, guys, let me just take care of this. So, just look out for it. It's probably going to go viral anyway.
I think Adonis is
Yeah.
smart enough to have a secondary recording device. I think
Yeah,
he's
that's what I
smart enough.
think.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I
I'll
think
shut
so.
this down, keep y'all calm or whatever, but I'm still recording.
And
You
he
know,
said to them, I'm downloading this before I shut it off, which he did, because all of it was on the live.
right. I haven't seen it
Where
yet, but
was
I'll
he at?
find it. We'll
He's
catch
in
up with it.
Bucharest, Romania.
He was in. Okay, yeah. But that so all right. So for one, that's what Black Americans, right? Well, us delineating, the whole world started delineating. And guess what? They want to now delineate from us too, all over, and that's cool. We don't give a
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, we
But
cool.
but that's the cause and effect of whatever Black Americans do. Now we can be. What we have is we have a bunch of our folks that are still on this Democrat plantation. I don't know how to get them off. I don't know if they will come off willingly or if they're even worth pulling off that plantation.
Leave him on there, bro.
Yeah, but the ones that leave willingly, um, we have to, just be able to be confident. Our confidence, if our confidence was already on a trillion, we had to take that shit to 8,000 trillion. Like we got to boost that shit up and really just walk on our royalty right now because whatever we say and do, everybody's gonna follow us.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's gonna follow us, and but guess what? That's gonna come with people trying to test your royalty too. Like if you go to these stores and you see them trying to you see them trying to like get a little snippy with you, you gotta check that shit
Yep.
because believe it or not, when I'm not on the spaces, I'm outside, feel me, touching grass. I see other people with their headphones in and all this other shit. And me, I just assume maybe I'm tripping, but I assume they listening to spaces. I just assume that they on motherfucking TikTok. I assume they on Facebook, Twitter, whatever, listening to the social media news, right? And so then I just assume I assume their actions off of that. And if they get snippy, I'd be like, all right, well, he might be wanting to try some shit. And so so you do a little straightening. You do a little straightening, and
Morning, morning,
and I'm telling
good
you,
morning, my
nigga,
dude.
2%. You do a 2% straightening on these people, they straighten right the fuck up. They don't even
Yep.
gotta go to nothing crazy. These people are naturally submissive to Black Americans,
Yep.
naturally.
Bro, I live my
Yep.
life. I live my life. So long, Mel. Have a good trip. If you know what I mean.
Good morning, y'all. And again, not to center BX, but to Simon's point, I went to a place that people was raving about. Everybody say, "Oh, when you go to Jamaica, you gotta go to this place." You got So I went there, and these people treated us like trash, which was a little bit, kind of at that point of the trip to be expected. But then the bartender got very nasty with one of the people that was with me, and when I tell y'all, I went clean off because you made a point, BX, recently about how people think because we're nice and we may have a certain disposition just because you got some sense to you. Black Americans, we going for the most part, we not punks. We not raised that way. So I don't care how nice a person comes across, everybody has their line, right? When I tell y'all I went clean the F off on these people in the middle of Jamaica in their store, only 3 Black Americans in there and all Jamaicans, and they fell back because I let them know, y'all come to our country. We do not treat y'all like this. Y'all all up and through New York City. We do not treat y'all like this. We get told to come to these raggedy ass spots, and this is how y'all act. When I tell you, I think my friends was a little afraid, but for whatever reason, I wasn't, and they fell. Them Jamaicans in their country fell back.
Yeah.
Sus, trust me. They get the message. They people over here in the States call back, they talk back and forth to each other. They know we the truth. And when the truth come to you, what you gonna do? They know it. They know. Trust me. Cause they where do you think where do you think they get their little fashion in that poor country?
I
You
mean,
know what I
ain't even
mean?
gonna say it's
They
the
got
fashion
cousins.
thing.
They got cousins over here in the States that's peeping our swag, and then they let them know what to do,
Hey,
how to
bro.
wear this.
Hey, brother. It's
Well,
not. Listen, these people know better to fuck with Americans outside. Like when we're in their land, believe me when I tell you, when you're an American and you're a Black American, you're protected. They don't want no international smoke to end up on on their country. They don't want that shit. They could talk. They could sell all these wolf tickets or they want on the internet, but they don't. They not. Hold on.
Lola said she lived in Jamaica and was treated good. That's not the first time I heard her say that either. And I agree with Ken. That's because you pretty, Nola. You a Creole. They want your complexion.
Well, well,
But we
wow,
just,
wow, wow.
I just needed a place to land, and BX know her space is one of the, if not safest, but just a place where people can come with different ideas and perspectives and experience. I needed a place to land because I literally witnessed that in real time. And I just started praying for him, not to impose, but I started praying for him just that he's protected because he is out there by himself, to little brother's point. He is out there by himself. He does now have to go to the police station. Hopefully the guy that was translating goes with him because he has everything on record and was speaking on his behalf. And again, just kind of keep an eye out because
Ken, I really wish you would just kind of just float around today if you can and keep us posted.
I will.
I don't know how to look for it, but matter of fact, I got to go to court here in about an hour or so. So I would love that we get some updates on it.
Yeah, I'll send y'all some stuff. I'm always in your back channels anyway, BX. I'll send y'all some stuff.
Word. And
And I'll.
Ken, I think the brother gonna be all right, but we don't know the we can play politics. He can play politics. If he's from the States, it might like I say, if he go and set up a GoFundMe, he needs some bread, we need to get that bread to him so he could, because you can corrupt those third world governments. You can corrupt them easily. I've been in a situation where I had to pay off the chief,
Oh, God.
in the DR. Yeah. I've been in
Oh,
that
the DR.
situation.
Wait a minute. The DR got chiefs?
Well, I guess he was at the particular town I was in. He was the top cop,
Oh, okay.
so
Oh,
I had to
why I
fade his
thought
pocket.
why I thought an indigenous tribe. I'm like, they had a chief in the what did I miss? Okay, I
I
got
mean,
you.
I mean,
He was the
I don't
police
know if he
chief.
was
He was the
the
police chief.
superintendent. He might have been the
Right?
sarge
No,
that
listen. He was the police chief, right? Not
of
the
that
Indian
in that
chief.
particular
Oh,
town.
okay, okay, I got it.
Right. But I
Yeah.
had to fade his pocket.
Uh.
Hey, it's all
uh
good. It's all good.
So Nola says she was in St. Catherine in the hood. She was in the trenches living in Jamaica. Give me some pointers so I can throw at the Jamaicans. Nola, come on, you are inside girl. I only went to the tourist spots, y'all. I ain't go. Well, I went to the countryside. It didn't look like
What
the
part of
hood.
Jamaica? Is it Montego Bay?
Is it Montego Bay? Portsmouth. It's not, don't give me the line. I don't know. I'm like Portsmouth.
See,
I'm in South.
I grew up with this older cat. He was dating my best friend's mom, but he was from Kingston. I mean, I didn't literally seen him. He got put out the states like 3-4 times. Matter of fact, the last time he got put out the states, he had a half a meal in the rig. So he was a
But
money
listen,
getter. You know what I mean?
yeah, but that's all gonna be over with, right? He ain't come back since the last time he got put out, huh?
Actually, he was on his way back, and the little boat capsized, and everybody passed away.
But
But
one
he's a
thing,
money
who was
getter.
that?
What? Huh?
Nola. She talking about she had the hookup. Look, but once they knew I lived there, they would hook me up. Who would hook you up, Nola? The locals,
Yeah, because you say
not
you
the
know how they
police
give the
people.
tourists one
You
price and then the
smoking that bullshit ass?
another.
Who are you
I,
talking to? You not on mute, little brother.
no, I know. She said she would have the hookup in Jamaica.
No, she's saying, you know how in Jamaica they
Oh,
do when you're a tourist, they have one price for you, and then when you're a local, they have another price. They was doing that to her at first until
I know
Okay,
you
okay.
yeah,
lying.
then she
Cause
ended up.
I'm not reading the comments. My allergies is killing me. My eyes is running, and I just can't read it right now. Shoot, so I went over there
Okay.
at the time with my wife, and it was we got off the resort and we went to dinner, and it was a chick. She was trying to come back with me and my wife. I'm like, oh, lions and tigers and bears. Oh my.
But I think you said that earlier. They see the dollar when they see American, they just see the dollar.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. Matter of fact, we had bought some of that bullshit ass BUD on the beach, and as I'm buying it, this son of a sob,
Morning, Kiki Lolo.
he's shucking his chicken like 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 he just shucking his pulling his chicken. You know, he grabbing on his chicken. Like, man, buddy, what you on? But
What
then
type
I
of
also
resort
got
you was at, brother?
um what's the name of it? It's called, I think it's Love something.
That's where they turn them pineapples
Good
upside down.
morning.
Nah, it's kind of like you kind of like, say if you're going through a little thing with your wife, kind of reignite that
Oh, that's
fire.
nice.
You know what I mean? Kind of get that fire back going, and it was nice. I will say that. They, everything was nice, but these suckers on the beach, that's why they can't come on the beach. Guys riding horses, but we buying some BUD, right? This dude pulling on his shit. And I'm looking like, damn, just totally disrespectful. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
with my wife at the time.
Yeah.
I was outdone. But see, I know, like I say, the guy that I was telling y'all about, he's passed away now. He's from Kingston. He a real dundot. He say the rest of these motherfuckers are farmers. I say, oh,
Good morning, Kita. Mm-hmm.
key to love.
She picked in. Mm-hmm.
Come on up, Keita.
Thank you for watching the live for 100 minutes.
I'm sorry. Before I came in with that breaking news, BX, what was I see National Black History Month destroying the narrative, Tetherville.
Oh yeah, because I go in certain rooms, they be having Tetherville on their prompts associated with New York. We do have them. I had to look it up, y'all.
Oh
I was
my
fighting
gosh, is
it,
that the
fighting
name of
it.
New York now, Tetherville?
Well, that's the unofficial name.
Oh, they
These
doing
people
us
get on my
bad.
We
nerves.
got
So
Tethermundo too.
yeah. So I still have 1 hour before my restrictions end. Love y'all.
Oh,
Love you too.
love you too.
So here's his
Word.
his wait a minute, little brother. Let me get out my prompt. I put a lot of time and thought in it. So during the National Black History Month, I decided that I'm gonna focus on early New York and spotlight like influential Black Americans, right?
Word.
So so I have a pet peeve of mine. I'm glad I see some Southerners in the house, right? So Black Americans were, and this is not to go around where we gonna tussle. Let me clear my throat.
Word.
Anyway, um, New Yorkers, Black Americans have been documented in New York since as early as 1623. And I find it asinine that everybody thinks that we had to wait till they migrated here for us to get some culture. And I'm sorry, my Southerners, y'all do this to New York too. Y'all do. Y'all swear we ain't have no style of fashion or anything until y'all started migrating during the Harlem Renaissance. But I'm here to tell you, and I made it my mission, and I ain't finished with my mission yet, to find out the genres that we did create. So I'm not trying to take jazz and say, no, it had to be created here. No, we're going to give the rightful, creators their just due. But in New York, I found out, thanks to Sister Revolutionary, Cakewalk and Ballroom, but also in New York, based off of my own research, we had what was the syncopated piano style. That's a really, really fast vaudeville playing. But he was kind of created by a Southerner. His man was born in the South, y'all can't lie. But the genre itself. And we also had Tin Pan Alley that was birthed here. And there were other genres before the South started migrating up. I ain't focusing on the Caribbean them at this time. We all know how I feel about them. But I'm just trying to show y'all how the South. Mute up. I was on the road. I like solos, little brother. Mute up. You scratching over there and stuff. Let me
No, that
hear.
was my heat coming on. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, no problem. So we know I like solos, but I like the word meshed, right? Because we had cakewalk, ballroom. Now I see we had the vaudeville. It was very fast, the syncopated vaudeville, and we had Tin Pan Alley. So that y'all young handsome ancestor right there, it was called Fats Waller. And he is Black American. He was born in Harlem, and his name was Thomas Wright Waller, right? He was born in Manhattan, New York, but the South always got to reappear. His parents was born in Virginia, 1888, and that led me to acknowledge that a lot of my family, we have a relationship with Virginia that isn't talked about enough. But however, that's got to be a Zoom call because I don't want no first generation African coming up here about she from Virginia, and she us, and she migrating. Like I don't want that story. Um, his early life, he grew up in a devoutly musical household in Harlem, where his father was a Baptist preacher and his mother played the piano and organ. So he was a cultural icon, and he was what, a hometown musical genius. In Harlem. I keep saying Harlem like I'm from there, but yeah, we're gonna give Harlem his credit. And He was such an icon and so beloved in of Harlem, and I guess of the people, that he drew 4,000 at his funeral service. Good morning, Trelanda. How are you? Oh, you're on the train? Super big hugs to you too. Super big FBA hugs to you too. And then it goes on to say that he broke barriers by being the first Black American to compose a hit Broadway musical, and that says "Early to Bed" was in 1943. I think that says 1943. The print is so small, y'all forgive me. Y'all can always look him up on your own, but we're gonna shout out the great ancestor, and he made the Harlem Stride piano style. So he was a musical genius, y'all, and they loved him. And he has a great grandson who is an NFL player named Darren Waller. So if anybody looks up Darren Waller, this man here is his great grandfather. Yeah. See how that worked, y'all? But I also found, like, shout out to Cash Gaines. He asked me a question about the towns how were our towns destroyed by urban renewal. That's another rabbit hole I'm going to go down. But I did pass a very good, significant lead that I'm not going to say at this time to Sister Keisha, because she literally goes into the reparations hearings and she talks. And she talks about kidnapping clubs and all of that. So I figured, yeah, let me pass this to her and I'll give my written testimony. And she said that it's just as good as showing up. It's just that at our hearings, there's a lot of Pan Africans that give pushback, and that daggone committee, they Pan African too. Oh, and the immigrant groups come to our hearings. I just don't understand how people who say they don't come here for handouts, they work hard. That hard. That's what I work hard. Are up here trying to get everything and anything they can. Their stuff, those people's stuff, and our stuff too. Like, it's enough. Cut it out. Also, Ken, I didn't listen to all of your recordings, but I realized what the mayor was doing when he said free groceries. That's a glorified pantry.
Yeah.
We have them here all the time, right? And sometimes the lines can be around the corner, correct?
Yes. Yeah. My
Nice.
other recording was one was about that pantry, but the other was about there possibly being a 9.5% hike on property taxes for homeowners in New York. And although we know initially these tax hikes were supposed to be for the rich, the conversation is that this is going to be across the board. So the drama is already starting for whoever put this man in office. 9.5% property tax raise in New York is crazy because the property taxes in New York don't get talked about enough. Like, you'll hear, California, you'll hear New Jersey, but New York has some crazy property taxes too. So you talk about 9.5% more Black Americans and Indigenous people. There will be, I'm not predicting this, I'm saying the consensus and the concern is that we'll be obviously losing their homes if this does happen. And he's not speaking that directly just to the rich as he initially campaigned on. So the drama is already starting with him.
To tell you, I look at him, right. I look at him and I get a feeling of Brandon Johnson.
Oh, refresh my memory, Brandon Johnson.
The Chicago mayor,
Okay.
over there running amok, done bankrupt the school system and all of that.
Yeah.
And Chicago Flips Red is really going to bat against him. Oh, we got a Philly Flips Red or Philly Red. And he was talking about Dakara Thompson and how she was, unalived by an immigrant, I believe.
Yes, an
And
immigrant.
and he was calling out the legislators there who that's their mission. They're going to talk about everything else, including the migrants, but they didn't say her name once. So he went up
That
there
was
to
in
hold
Philly, you say, sis?
Yes, he's in Philly. Philly Flip Red or Flip Philly Red. Just do the wordplay and Google him. Philly actually has a freedmen organization there too. So, for matter of fact, Philly was probably because I watch a lot of the news clips and stuff, and at one time they were the first freedmen's organization that I seen, and then I got patched in on Twitter and seen the dynamics of how the Freemans are over there. But until they started migrating to TikTok, we would say we're Freeman descendants, but it wasn't like organized reparation fighting and demanding and all of that. So we pretty much been doing, cleaning up these streets. They were a lot worse. Going at the narrative, because I used to be on Shavu's Live a lot, about the Latinos and their part in hip hop, the Caribbean too. Oh, And I did hear that whole Herc is the godfather of hip hop started with Bambaataa. It was one of his agendas, but that's something to research or ask a real music historian about, right?
Yeah, and
Hmm.
Bambaataa is a whole nother issue and problem that is not even for this live, and that's
Right.
Epstein type nefarious. Like he's a whole nother issue within our community.
Bambata.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
And don't
I heard
now
the
yeah,
story.
you're low raw, don't that's
Yeah.
we get it.
Yeah,
It's Epstein type, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
But is he a tether?
little
Is
brother don't
Bambaataa a
have any
tether?
filter.
Is
Huh?
Bambaataa a tether?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's from the islands. Yeah.
Wow.
He is. Mm-hmm. But my whole thing is I used to love KRS One, right? I used to really
We
love
all
him because
did.
not only did he do the songs. I'm from the Bronx, so of course I was the bridge is over, the bridge is over. But where he would talk and we didn't call him the teacher for nothing. Like he literally was teaching like where are the robes, just saying that the slave catchers and the Klan and stuff, how they, transitioned to be the judges and the police and stuff. So he literally was kicking knowledge, but he will not address Bambaataa. And I
Uh-huh.
believe he never. Have you heard anything from KRS One about Bambaataa?
He's
Nope.
upholding him.
He might have told us to leave it
He's
alone,
saying
but I
it
don't.
doesn't
I'm not
matter
sure.
what he did. Look what he did for hip hop. But yeah, he's
See,
upholding him. So he's done.
yeah, yeah,
And is he a
and that's
tether too?
probably he's part. I think he's by ethnic. Yeah. But here's my issue then. No wonder why he stood up and said that the hip hop would not be what it was if it had not been for the Latinos and stuff, their contribution, he's saying, allegedly, right? But it makes sense because if he's done because he said that, it doesn't matter what he did, nobody's probably really rocking with him. He's no longer a part, no, Bambaata's no longer a part of Zulu. Universal Zulu.
Right.
But I'm not sure if KRS-One is still a member. I know Curtis Blow is,
Yeah, that's right.
but it
Black
makes
America.
sense. So we kept saying, I kept saying, does KRS-One really need a check? Like, what is he doing? That he's saying that
Is he FBA?
about the Latinos.
Is
He's
he
by ethnic, I
FBA?
believe. By ethnic.
You know,
By ethnic.
we got the thing with and you can correct me, BX. Where I have a lot of confusion and where I'm still just trying to kind of understand as a born and raised New Yorker. I don't understand how they did what they like. What the hell type of fog were we under? And I take accountability as well. Like, what type of fog were we under that they were infiltrating? Because at this point, it's an infiltration. It's not even
Right.
just living in proximity.
He's by ethnic, Dred. I'm listening. Go ahead.
It's not even just living in proximity to us. They infiltrated us when we were outside or when we were in school or when we were running the streets back in the days. We did not know these people were tethers. And you know, the way it used to be back in the day, you could just show up at somebody's door, knock on the door, see if they home. I don't even remember going to a lot of these people's homes, and I don't remember them even encouraging that. And maybe possibly because they knew, like, well, back in my house, there's a whole bunch of foo-foo going on. You know what I'm saying? That they were even embarrassed about. But I'm just like, for myself, embarrassed, and I just don't fully understand how what happened in New York happened. And maybe because, you know, we would just sleep during the process because we were ravaged by Pan-Africanism, because we believed in this one flat black. I mean, all the theories, but it's disgusting because look at where we are now. And, you know, a lot of times we have to eat. Nola says she knew the people was different upon arrival. I mean, that's good. I don't know what your discernment was about that, though, because we didn't, again, we were under a flat blackness. So, but go ahead, BX. You go ahead and speak to it.
You was in Brooklyn, obviously, okay?
Yeah.
The Bronx. I'm talking to Nola. You see what she put down there? She messing with me.
No,
It
good.
smell
The
like
Bronx
paper.
smell like.
So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I don't think that we should have any regrets for being compassionate. for thinking that people would for believing in somebody else, understanding that at that time we believed Pan-Africanism, right? And you have your friends, you play with them. I think we understood microaggressions, and even at times when you had to fight, I always thought it was community issues. But because that speaks to the good nature in us, and that's why we're gonna win. We could be like the Black Brits, totally assimilated or just off in the corner by ourselves, and have the African and the Caribbean just speaking for us. That's the Black Brits over there.
Right.
Over here, we are fighters. I think that they are doing to us what we would never do to them, but that speaks to the corruption of them, and that's why they can't stand on any accolades or achievements that they got over here.
Right.
They can't do that because if everything they did is off of our backs and off of the way they snaked us. And this is why I take myself out of the community and my feelings and or whatever, and leave it at what I could prove. And what I could prove is they delineated first, and that Congress. Do you understand that? And I'm putting a video up. I'll send you the link after it's posted. Yvette Clarke in 2010 got what was called the Caribbean Count Bill. What that is the same thing we pushing for. She wanted to be out of flat blackness for her Caribbean people, so that they could get the accurate funding and all the things that them being a visible part of the black, so-called black race would get her. And it sort of passed, right? But when it came to us, and she authored, she wrote that Caribbean Count Bill. When it comes to us, because we had activists saying, well, we need our distinction, U.S. freedmen, she is silent on that. And she uses our civil rights for her mission. She is so disturbed that Black Americans are supporting the SAVE Act at a rate of 76%. Right.
And she sound like a whole Black American auntie. Like she sound like any one of our aunties.
I didn't hear that because her features don't say it.
Her features don't, but her tone sounds like anyone. I'm like, why does she sound like she's a to your point, I appreciate you saying that because I did need to hear that. The other thing is I was always running down on them though. Like for the ones that I did know was West Indian or what, didn't hide that, and their parents or whomever I came across, because I worked in jobs, they was all over the place. I was always running down on them, but I thought at that time, and I'm probably older than everybody here, honestly, I thought at that time, this is 30 years ago, like if I'm telling you it's not that, if I'm telling you we not welfare babies, if I'm telling you we not illiterate, if I'm telling you we didn't use the word ratchet back then, but we not ratchet. If I'm telling you that and you seeing a Black American that is not that way as another Black person, you would take that, you would understand that, and you would change your perspective. Not only did they not change their perspective, because we've been telling them for a long time, like, nah, it's not like that, and letting them pass and trying to be understanding of their perspective. We here 30 years later, and it's to this. So we were supposed to delineate 30 years ago, 60 years ago.
Yeah.
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 So I fought I fought a Haitian, got jumped by Jamaicans, fought a Latino, never had to fight a white tea, but chased her up the block. Or an African. Africans just wasn't around me. They wasn't, my parents sent us to Catholic school, they wasn't in there. And I went to school in the 80s and early 90s. I'm going to say this. With those who became my friends or I became their friend, however it went, I didn't see what I saw by the girls that I got jumped by. So I always thought it was just community issues. I never thought, right? I did understand that they had some biases towards us because they would say some shit out their mouth, right? That's why I'd be like, y'all really can't fight in real life. Like, I literally be telling them that. I be telling them, move from me. Like, what do you Caribbean, get away from me. So I do that today. Yeah, I did in November. But here's my issue. So I think that we were asleep, right? We were under the throes of Pan-Africanism, but we have such a loving heart. Did you see how the Jamaicans were saying we shouldn't go, don't come back here and this and that? I bet you some of us still helped them. Probably
Yeah.
sent Right. We have a good moral compass in us. Even when we want to be mean, we can. It's just not in our nature. And so I think that's why we have the upper hand, but we got to get some of this out of the way. Clear some of them out. It's nothing they could tell us. When I started talking about the yesterday, I was on Shavu Fly, and I started talking about the Caucasus and stuff. So a Pan African, and homie had to drop. He was up there for a good minute. We were sparring for a little while, back and forth, And his points wasn't really too good. But once I started bringing up the Caucasus and how Yvette Clarke is getting this and that, and why would we align with people like that? And he just dropped, And the other one was sitting there like, she's making very good points. But something in me was saying, is this man really Caribbean, just trying to see where I'm going? And he probably like, dang, I don't know if so I don't really know. He just said, my people been here forever. What I'm trying to tell you is I'm frustrated, right, Ken? I'm very frustrated because I want a better job. I want command of the call center because my son had to call somebody, couldn't even understand, and it was very important that he spoke to them. He damn near threw the phone at me, and I said, "What am I, the tether whisperer, the accent translator? Like, what the fuck am I?" But I understood everything she was saying. He was just so disturbed by it, and he's a New York baby, right? But we're very insular ourselves, damn it. We are some homebodies. If we ain't going out to eat, to the movies or whatever. But what I'm trying to say is this. I'm frustrated, I'm aggravated, but what I won't do is have any regrets for us having a loving heart. Why? Because this is spiritual, right? This is ancestral. And our ancestors are literally shaking the table. Because who would have thought that Trump would have gotten to office? Who would have thought the Latinos would have been our unspoken allies, even though we go at them today? They voted for Trump the most, even though we affected the swing states. So without knowing, there's two groups working for whatever their reasonings was, but it's working, it's going to come together for us. Now, I do think we have to be realistic. We can't sit on the couch during midterms, state and local. Democrats just ain't gonna cut it for us. I don't even know how man dummy got his ass in that office, right? So we have to be realistic. I ain't gonna argue with people who don't want to fill out the census, but I'm gonna let them know if we don't start filling out the state censuses, we won't have funding into our communities, and we'll see more enclaves of the Haitians, the Africans, the Latinos, who else is here? The Albanians. The Albanians is getting the whole school. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez told us in one town hall call. So we too, now this is the thing I'm going to hold us accountable for, Ken. I'm not going to hold us accountable for being under the throes of Pan-Africanism, wanting to topple white tea supremacy with people who are melanated like us. We have a good moral compass. But now we're realizing certain strategies and how they're winning. How they're winning is with nonprofit organizations where they collaborate with each other, which means, you keep the money between y'all. You keep the support between y'all. You could get political support between y'all if you have certain organizations. They're filling out the censuses, so the censuses has some funding attached to it and stuff. And their people are being voted in, and their people, it's not just the Asians and the Latinos practicing good, strong group economics. Hey, Jessie Mae. It's all of them. It's everybody but us. So now that we know that, don't worry about the past is the past. We have a good moral compass. What changes are we going to implement now? And this may sound appropriated. What's our word, damn it? Now that we're woke.
Right.
What changes are we going to implement?
Right.
So what I started asking and we know not all immigrants are tethers, right? We get comfortable with the word tether. But this is my deciding factor. I've been asking them. I say, I'm past the point of talking. Are you willing to vote in a way that's going to be more fair and conducive for foundational Black Americans, which means you may not vote democratically? Nobody has said yes to me yet.
When you say no, you mean when you speak into these Tether communities or our
Yeah,
communities?
right here, right, tethers. I'm not
Oh,
talking about
oh,
our
right, the Tether
community.
community, right,
Because some of ours is going to stay on the plantation.
right,
I want these same people that say that it's not all, when you say this is what's going on, this is what your people, well, it's not all of us. I'm not like that. I don't do that. How could I help?
right.
That's my thing. Are you willing to vote in a manner that's more conducive and inclusive of foundational? And I shouldn't even have to say that shit.
Right.
For foundational Black Americans, are you willing to vote your people out? Now, I only asked about 3 or 4, and I haven't gotten a yes yet.
Right. That's true allyship if y'all want to do
But
something.
sis, but BX,
Mhm.
you know, I got a
Thank you
sister.
for
Like
getting
like I say, I got a sister that's um older than you, older than well, I got 2 of them older than
Thank
you,
you.
and
Mhm.
like I say, Jesse Jackson's cousin. I'm 75. Basically,
That was
like have
crazy,
respect.
Jesse.
Okay, I respect you as an elder, but
Mhm.
what's the price of freedom? And I've never heard my sister cuss in her life, and
Mhm.
she say death, MF, death, mother,
Hey.
unalive, and
Mhm.
mother. And
Mhm.
if they not ready to put their life on the line, you're not like us. You can't.
Mm,
You. I don't want you around me because even sitting in my house right now, my life is on the line. Somebody can come
thank you,
just
Jesse.
hooping and hollering and shooting up and under just pop, pop pew 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 down the block
Mhm.
and just what I mean. You don't know when you walk out your door.
Mm,
You don't know it's pew 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 going on all around. It's not just in my city or your city. It's around the whole states. These YGs, young gods, they
Yes.
own it. They with it. I'm just trying to teach them where to point it.
mhm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That's all. That's all we trying to do. Because as us, we being the OGs or the triple OG, whatever you want to call us,
Mhm.
I'm building me a front line. And I would suggest all the older people on the seat. I'm not even. I ain't gonna say older. The seasoning people on the line on the sites. Get your front line together.
Mhm.
You
Yep.
know,
Yep.
some of like BX. You might got some sons that's ready to go. Sus, you might got some sons that's ready to go. Okay, everything cool.
Mhm.
I got girls, so but
Right.
they ready to go too. They ready to thump. They ain't gonna do no fight.
Man,
They thumping.
you did say that. You said your daughter was a
Yeah,
thumper.
they'd be the biggest
Yeah.
fighters.
Yeah.
I'm a builder and I'm a person that likes to my goals, one of my goals, and I could share that. And BX, you know this already, is the
Mhm.
resources. I want to have the endless resources so I can help my people because that time is coming. But we that group economic thing is right. What you said, BX, what we did fumble, and I think we are trying to fix because I am hopeful in that
Good
sense.
morning, love and light.
We are trying to fix it. And when brother was talking, the image that came in my head was that like when you're saying, BX, what are they willing to do? And are they willing to put themselves on the line for us? And it came to me that, it's an interesting question because they've never put themselves on the line really for anything. When they had the
Mhm.
opportunity to do it, they
My
fled,
problem.
right? When they had the
Mhm.
opportunity to do it in their own land, they fled, right? When they got here, it was already built and already prepackaged for them, and they just stepped into it, right? And now
Correct.
we're saying, okay, brother's saying, we shed BLOOD and we millions and millions and millions of black bodies, our ancestors shed that on our behalf, right? And which is why we have what we have to this day, because we have lived, we have fought, and we have unalived, and we are still living and fighting and being unalived for what we believe, right? And for the righteousness of it and for our people, right? And they're not going to do that. They're not gonna, I
No,
don't think, ever
Good
do that,
morning, love
right?
and
no,
light.
And
no.
what the point that came in my head, because I jumped in here on this Adonis thing. We have seen countless videos where you will have 10 tethers standing around in a circle and one YT man slapping up one of the tethers, punching one of the tethers, kicking one of the tethers, holding him by his neck like he a cat because maybe he took a potato or something or he did something he wasn't supposed to do. And you have 10 male tethers Black male tether standing around while this one white T man is beating up this one tether, and you had Adonis, one black American man in a crowd of 30 Romanians, and he knocked out one Romanian by himself. And that is the difference between us and them.
Correct. I salute
Yes.
you on that one, sis. Because guess what?
Mhm.
They don't have the spirit that we have. See, our ancestors are ruined through. This is a bloodline. We
Mhm.
live this, we breathe this, we teach this, we talk this, we walk this. It's running
This
through our
morning, yes.
veins. It
Mhm.
runs through our veins. We are not as to be a FBA. We are not. We're not scared. Sis, I'm gonna say this, and are you? Is the space being recorded?
Yes, all spaces are recorded.
Okay, okay.
All spaces.
All right.
Mhm.
One night I had a little small issue. Anyway,
Mhm.
the police show up at my
All
door,
minds and dread. Mhm.
but it's at 12 o'clock at night. I don't have people. I don't have company at that hour. So I answered the door with my big brother. You understand where I'm going now? Well, the police got mad at me. Say, yeah, if I'd have
Mhm.
known you to come to the door with that, I would have. I say, yeah, and I would have pum back at you too. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because I don't have company at that certain hour, and I'm not. It's not that I'm not the aggressor, but
Right.
whoever's coming to my door that late, I'm a grown ass man. I'm basically pretty much sleep about 9, 10, back up about 2. But I don't have company at that hour. It's just me and my fiance. My daughter's, she's spending a few days over here with us hanging out. But I don't have company like that. I don't F with a lot of people because my mindset and the things that's going on in the world, the group, the people that I follow, and the understanding that I got Baba Dick Gregory say once you open your eyes, you can never close them again. A lot of people don't want accountability, don't want to be accountable. So I leave them where they are. And then I'm the one that's being shady. I'm the one that's not being cool because I don't hang with you no more. You ain't on nothing, brother. You stay with your mama or you stay with your girl. I'm
Mhm.
sitting there. I just got my tax. I just got my tax bill. I'm finna go to court here in another hour because my ex pulling me back in and I gotta yank some money out of this crib and give her some. No problem. But the point is, we don't you got low class people coming into high class people's space. And once you do that, it's like it's not right. Am I am I around my equal or better? A lot of these people are not a lot are not our equals. Like I'm low key, BX. I am sick and tired of going back and forth with these tethers. They don't see the
Mhm.
world that we see it, the way we see it. So why are we going back with these uneducated people, low budget people? Don't got
Mhm.
enough. The amount of money that our $1 trillion, $20 trillion spending budget, we can run their whole government. So I just think it's just time out, to go back and forth with people that are not our equal. That's how I feel about it.
Absolutely. One of
Yes,
Even
them
our
tried to make
knowledge,
fun of our
sister, they have no knowledge of their land, but
y'all.
they
Y'all be
want to come
schooling
over and
them.
tell us what our history is.
Y'all be schooling them. It be just pathetic and embarrassing how bad y'all be doing. But one of them tried to make fun of our ancestors' clothes and their slave clothes. And I'm like, even then, they dressed better than y'all do now. Back
Yeah,
then, they was
right.
cleaner and looked better and was more put together than y'all are right now.
They might
Mm-hmm.
have had to wash their ass in that in that tub, but they washed their ass. Y'all ain't even doing that.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You
So
know,
I'm not going
a- just think about it, sis. As a
to.
woman, as a woman that has a cycle,
Mm-hmm.
you got to get in that water.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They women, I done seen some stuff. I mean,
I
unbelievable. I
went,
ain't gonna
no,
even talk
no,
about it.
it's too
No, I ain't
early.
going there.
I don't know what had
I ain't
breakfast.
going in
No,
there.
y'all be nasty with it.
But
Y'all showing all type of pictures and putting all type of images. Listen, I understand some of them don't even have maxi pass, right? There's some
yes,
countries out there, right? But that ain't my business. I'm a first world baby, honey.
See,
Okay,
we used
I
to
don't
do
need to
stuff
hear
like
about their
that.
issue.
Put together initiatives and send them toiletries and pads, and they so stupid because y'all up here wasting your time with us on this, and you don't know how. Like you said earlier, we so generous and we so loving. You remember when there was initiatives to put together all that stuff together to send to them?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yes,
They
yes.
work against their own interests. That's the thing I
But I
see with
think
them.
they
Actually,
go.
a lot of them don't know how to put on a pad or a tampon. They
Oh,
used to the
come
tissue.
on. Listen, this is where I'm about to log off. But I want to say this. I don't need to hear about their issues right now, right? They
Right.
have the best allies on the globe, and they blew it. They blew
They
it.
blew it.
They had people that was fighting for them before they got on this app. Yeah, my ancestors. Now people are saying my ancestors wasn't African. I met them Africans. Like
We not
they did
them.
it to themselves.
We are not them. We are just not them. Even if we didn't do all the scholarship to explain to them how we not them, even if we didn't do the genealogy, the DNA, if we did none of the work, we know just from the day we're born and the families we come from and the things we experience, we have no connection to these people. And for whoever was brought over here, that has been washed away a very long time ago. We're just not these people. Just on the strength that we will stand and fight. Majority black people Americans will stand and fight. And we don't meet a minority of them that will stand and fight.
Correct.
Right.
Correct, sis. Correct.
Yeah.
100%. 1000%.
Right? So that's why we have a natural, again, I know we got beefs. I know we got stuff. We humans. You know, we're not gonna all agree. I get all of that stuff.
Well,
And it gets
who didn't
crazy.
fight with their big sister or their big brother?
We
You
went
know what I mean?
tussling. My nephews were here over Christmas, and they was trying to talk to me about their angelic mother, and they was like, "And we know she never fought you, right, Auntie?" I said, "Who never fought me? Your sister, your mama? Please." We thought the other auntie fought. No, that one can't fight. But your mama, she was the fighter. Yes, she did fight me. She did what? You know what I mean? But all that to say, we'll get through that part of it. Somebody said something earlier about the North and the South beef. It's really no beef with us. We do, and I appreciate BX for the scholarship of New York and the history and who we are, but we do love, and I know she's saying that as well, we love the South. We would see the South as the motherland before we would see anything else,
I love the South.
Right.
And
right?
matter of fact, sis, I'm trying to see if I can put me something together, put it together where I can go down and check on my family. Cause like I say, my brother's down in Louisiana. And just to go down there and lay eyes on them. You know how grandma and them, hey, you check in every hour, every other hour, whatever, and let me lay eyes on you, you know?
And I think our greatest gift as a people to each other is the fact that we're not tribal. And we can never become tribal. We can have our beefs, but we can never become tribal because we're able to move about these states comfortably. Wherever I go throughout the United States, when Black American people see me, it's love. If I go to New Orleans, if I go to Texas, if I go to Virginia, where Black American people
Yes,
are,
ma'am.
it's love. They treat me with love. They be happy to see me. It's a mutual feeling between us. I'm not of course I'm not just running through people's hoods but I'm not worried about, can I go here in Vegas? Can I hang out here in Los Angeles? obviously being smart, right? But I'm saying I'm not worried that, because if the Hutsis see me over here with the Tutsis, like we don't
Right,
have that.
right,
Even that
right.
manufactured East Coast, West Coast beef, we lost one of our greatest, and that was enough for us.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
understand? So, I mean, I'm going to always press we love each other. And in this time, we got to do what BX is doing. We got to do what Brother's doing. We got to build, y'all. We cannot be distracted. BX, I'm going to always push this message. Build your homes, build your forts, build your families, pool your resources, because when we need each other, we know how to come together. When it comes down to it, if this stuff does collapse, we're going to be feeding each other. We're going to be providing medical service to each other. We're going to be housing each other like we used to do. That's why we're not afraid of what's going on and what's happening, because we know who we are. We want peace, of course. We don't want to have to be uncomfortable, but we can exist uncomfortably, and we know how to do it together. Them black people out there in Minneapolis, I think it was Minneapolis, they was frozen over. Them people was in the streets cooking for each other. In the streets, finding out ways to warm each other up and help each other out and going door to door. Them Black American people was in the streets watching out for them elders. When St. Louis had that unexpected tornado, I think it was last year, them people in St. Louis was in the streets feeding each other and taking care of each other. That's who we are. And that's the narrative for Black Americans. Them
Yes,
tethers,
ma'am.
they got a whole nother issue. They can't infiltrate that with us. They can't penetrate it. And I understand why people are on the app questioning who is who and what's what, because I listened to Hosea Williams yesterday. He was talking about the unaliving of Dr. King, and I swear he said there was an African photographer named Andy that was with them that they later found was working for the CIA. I swear he said that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. You ain't lying, sis.
Thank you for that.
Yep. So I'm sorry. I'm laying my plane there.
Well,
But sis,
wait a minute.
Go ahead,
So the
BX.
photographer's name was Andy?
Yes, I'm going to get the clip and send it
Okay.
to you, because I know you don't like
Thank
misinformation
you.
and I don't either, but I swear that's what he said. And I said, an African working for the CIA?
It's just like William O'Neill with Fred Hampton.
With Fred Hampton.
Wow. So,
Yeah.
the Black American House was piggybacking off of he says not the Hutsis and the Tutsis. We don't have that tribalism. But he also says Hosea Williams was so instrumental in Atlanta, and he dislikes the street for his namesake is gentrified.
Oh.
Yeah. But on that note, do y'all have any final words? Anybody you want to spotlight for National Black History Month 2026?
Shout out to BX for Black History Month. How
That's
about
what I
that?
was going to say. See, we on one accord.
Yeah.
We are on. I was about to say, I would like to spotlight you. Keep doing what you're doing, because we know you do it on the app and in the streets. Keep being who you are. You got a heart of gold. New York, they say what they say about us, our heart don't pump no Kool-Aid. So, I get it. Sometimes you got to put the smack down. But shout out I'll go with little brother on that one. Shout out to you for Black History Month. And all of y'all, Nola, brother, Simon, all of y'all, all of y'all for what y'all doing, because we only picking up the mantle, y'all. And they can laugh at us because this is where everybody's on social media. This is where it's happening. This is where the movement is at.
Well, sis, they can keep laughing. The same thing make you laugh or make you cry.
That's right. And some of them, these people up here, their names are going to go down in history.
Yeah.
Some of these people we sitting amongst, their names are going to go down in history for what they did for their people.
Yes.
Yeah. So is there anybody y'all want besides me? Anybody? No? Okay. Not a problem. So I just want to say this. I love y'all for real. And there goes the Black American House. He says they can laugh when ICE pick their tail up too. And on that note, I'm going to say peace, love, light, and reparations to my foundational Black Americans or anybody of the lineage who could identify as such. They just
Love
don't
y'all
like
guys. Bye.
Yeah, love you.
Love you
too,
more,
little
BX.
brother. Love everybody in the queue. Love everybody in the chat. Y'all catch me on another panel cutting up or something.
I'm
So
finna go
peace
gang
and be
bang.
one
Sis, I'm
family.
going to go gang bang. I'm finna go find me a
Why you
fight.
would say that? Oh, I'm gonna bye, little brother. Now I see why your name is little brother, because you just like to get on people's nerves sometimes.
No, cause
Purposely.
I'm little brother, but I got big brother in my right hand.
Oh, I got you. All right, everybody, have a blessed day.
Yes,
Peace.
ma'am. You too as well.
Thank you.
From ancient tales to modern schemes, unraveling truths and chasing dreams.